And we are live.
Check.
Checkers and rallies.
That's live.
Checks and balances.
Yeah.
Link worked for once.
Czech Republic.
Czechs and Bosnians.
Yeah. Ha. Speaking of which, a little bit of fun. The president has finally acknowledged Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. That's going to be fun. And predictably, dipshits have already started going completely fucking psycho. That's what they call in political discourse a hot potato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No comment. I don't want to say it.
Jump in the chat.
The best thing, though, is that there's a bunch of idiots who actually think he's declared it the capital, as in, like, he moved their capital there. I wish I was kidding about that. There are people who believe that he has decided that it's their capital. Like, we've decided a foreign national, a foreign country's capital,
Are we using this? Or we're not using the NTR thing? I mean, the She's Lost Control chat? Is that what you mean?
What do you mean?
We're not using the She's Lost.
We're talking the IRC.
Yes, we're using the IRC.
Okay, then that's what I'm going to.
That's what he meant to begin with.
You were confused.
We never used the chat on this thing. It's not a very good one.
How are my approval ratings? I saw the president. You didn't see the president.
So most of the technical issues happened before we went live this time. That's always nice.
Don't jinx this for us now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this mixer's gonna explode. The mic boom's gonna fall down. The roof is gonna collapse.
Sudden spawn of fire tornadoes will show up and just start wiping out everything within.
No, that's just California.
Well, yeah.
That cup thing I did before Anubis, I originally wanted to write okay, I won't say it.
Don't say anything you might regret later on the air.
Yeah, I won't say.
Okay.
But better to put our brand.
Yeah.
Advertise our brand and put down another one. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
With that,
I clearly have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just gonna guess you're talking about peeing in a cup or some shit.
Yes, we're peeing in a cup.
Sure. That's exactly what we're talking about. Let's start the show.
Okay.
Good shit.
Cold open.
In 3, 2. From NTR Radio, I'm Tom Force Nubis.
I'm K-Gods.
And I'm the Idol Czar, VZ Mark II.
Yes.
Instead of like the drug czar.
Yeah.
They're always after like I can't even think of the dude's name now. Fuck. He's from Mexico. So that's why you need to know.
Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, Escobar. Wasn't that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, an idol czar.
People's names.
Yeah, I'm the Idol Czar. Give me your idols. I'm hunting idols.
Ho ho, holy shit, it's December.
It's fucking cold.
I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty cold here now.
Yeah, it's cold.
You know where it's not cold? California. And you know why it's not cold? Because
it's on fire. It's the exact opposite of cold.
Literally, it's on fire. Like not as in like it's doing well or no, as in like that commercial where the dude's actually telling the guy that he's on fire and he thinks he's doing really good or something, and they're just screaming at him that no, dude, you're seriously on fire.
Yeah, I saw those videos of the guys driving in the car down the highway, like into this inferno. It looks like someone fired an ion cannon down in L.A.
What was it, like some live like dispatch that was like, we're going into the heart of the inferno?
No, it was just people.
Like just like some
people in a
random fucking
car.
people in a Jeep or.
Yeah, it's a cell phone video.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
can tell
I
it's a
saw
cell phone
that,
video
yeah.
because it's vertically oriented.
Yeah, and because
it was just them driving down the highway, and in the background,
It's the fire.
in front of them, you could see this gape.
Wow,
That's like a Doom 3 level.
one of my buddies that lives in Arizona, just the other day, he was out driving around and he took video. I don't know if he took video or he took pictures. He said he did one of the other, of this guy that came by him on a scooter vaping. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like he said this like little eyes motor scooter, some dude with like these really questionable looking hairstyles, exceptional individual, that a fabulous individual, we'll say that, smoking, like, you know, doing vaping. And I'm like, everything about this makes me want to hit this guy, like, with the car.
I don't know. That seems like a complete downgrade from, oh, hey, we're just driving down a highway on a normal day into pure fire.
Yeah, but see, that is a coolness factor to it. This does not. This is, you're driving down the road and you see some guy, probably looks like a little, I mean, just like some, I don't know, I know he's got a truck, so
right.
It probably looks funnier because you're sitting higher up. And you look down and you see this small individual on this goofy looking motorized scooter, like vaping, like, you know, like, look at me vape, you know. Like,
so do you have you should have a side by side. This is hot. This is not.
Jesus Christ.
Did you seriously just reference that? Oh.
Jesus fucking dude.
That's a reference to something.
I think most people would say he's not these days.
No, the guy vaping, not. That's what I'm talking about.
No. We were laughing because the hot or not thing that's been that was old when I was a teenager.
Oh, that's a meme. I didn't even.
Oh, it's not even a meme. It was something they actually used to do in magazines. Like TMZ level shit.
Okay. It shows what I know.
It's like Rotten Tomatoes for teachers or some kind of shit like that, you know?
Okay, I wasn't even thinking that. That's how, like. So what are we watching?
Let's talk about some anime.
All right, I got stuff I want to talk about.
Girls' Last Tour continues to impress. Seriously, it's one of it's got to be top 3, top 2 anime this season. Everyone should be watching it. I could go on, but every single episode this season, you've been hearing me just word vomit about Girls' Last Tour because it's just one of the best anime to come out in the past 5 years. It's fantastic. Everyone should be watching it. I highly recommend it to everyone.
That's like me, but with Blend S.
Other than that, I actually picked up some anime not too long ago. I got Ghost in the Shell on DVD and Blu-ray.
Woot.
The original 1995 Ghost in the Shell movie. So I watched that, and it was impressive. But I have the same outlook on it that I had when I watched the Pat Labor movie, in that I believe it works better as a series.
Yeah, I do think that Standalone Complex is a lot better. But the reason I do think so is I think Shiro had a lot more. They were using that reference a lot more than they were for the movie, which was more Oshi, I believe.
Well, yeah, good. Well,
Pat Labor has a series, so you know.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell also has a series, but what I'm saying is when you look at it, because I've read most of the first manga, and the movie is really just one chapter out of the manga.
Yeah, it is, but it's also
like, it works better as a series because you get to explore a lot more of the world. Because what's really the strength for me is with Ghost in the Shell is this world. So you get to explore a whole lot more of that when you have that long form series sort of format rather than when you're trying to do just one movie.
You know, with Pat Labor, that there's two continuities. There's
with Ghost in the Shell.
I
don't think that really matters in this case. We're just referring to the source material works better as a series.
Yeah,
okay.
Go much like Pat Labor, Ghost in the Shell as a concept just purely works better as a series.
Because the one continuity is the OVA, the first OVA series. Then movie 1. Movie 3 actually fits in before.
We've all seen Pat Labor. You don't need to explain that.
Yeah, but Anubis may not know.
I'm pretty sure he's probably seen it.
No, I'm familiar. And
the second
manga. The manga is distinct from the series, and they're all distinct from the movie. Like, if you watch the movie, you're basically watching a different Ghost in the Shell than if you're watching the series. Than if you're reading the manga. It's all.
Is that Blu-ray?
None of them. They're not in the series.
That's not that. That's not that one that they like added new effects to, right?
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
All right, because that was. Oh no, does it say 2.0?
Nope. This is the 25th anniversary edition.
Okay, then that's good. From what that was basically like around the time The Matrix came out.
Yeah, and they tried to capitalize on that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But to continue on what he was saying, though, the thing that's about the movie that's peculiar, and again, this is really only something you'll know if you've seen the series or at least read the manga, is that the Major has very little personality in the movie.
Yes.
She's like just a stoic, empty shell. Whereas in the TV series, it's much more like the manga, where she's somewhat of a playful kind of character.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, where she just has lesbo sex for fun, like no reason other than just feels good, man. That sort of thing. Speaking of which, I'm surprised a lot of people don't seem to give Shiro shit for essentially just doing porn these days.
I feel like a lot of the people who are real big up on Shiro's stuff beforehand have basically just abandoned him since he started doing porn.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's not like people are gonna knock him.
Man's living his passion.
Yeah.
It's
not like some fucking like American or British guy's gonna tap him on the shoulder and go, "Could you stop this like degenerate stuff and start writing more brainy stuff again?" Like, in which case he'll be like, "Who the fuck's this person?
How'd you get in here?"
Yeah,
seriously,
but it'd be like
aren't there guards out there? Yeah.
It would be like some, like, I don't know, Michael Crichton or Robert Hyland. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna draw porn. I'm gonna write about porn, which is probably how some people see it as.
Heinlein is a person that wouldn't actually surprise me. I mean, I've read plenty of Heinlein. I mean, they have kind of some interesting things. If you've read like Stranger in a Strange Land or something like that, The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. Speaking of sci-fi, I actually finished that book I was reading.
Oh,
yeah, Lucifer's Hammer. It's by Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle. Finally got their names. It's one of those things that was.
That name rings a bell to me. Continue.
One of them, and maybe it's him. It's an engineer.
Okay, Ringworld. That's Larry Niven.
Yeah. This is one of those books that was on the back burner for a long time. I've always wanted to read it because I guess it's kind of part of sci-fi canon. Sort of, I guess. But
I don't
after
know what sci-fi canon is.
Yeah, so that's why I said I guess. So, but I don't know if any of you have ever done this, but just for funsies, I went on to Amazon to see what the negative reviews of it would be like, because there were plenty of them, and like the 1-star ratings and whatnot, and it was pretty much full of whiny pseudo-intellectual academics complaining about how sexist and stuff it is and whatnot. Yeah, because end of the world scenarios bring out the best in human behavior. I mean, clearly. Especially a book from the 70s. Come on. Anyway, it was pretty good for what it was.
I'm sorry.
It was pretty decent for what it was. A little overly verbose for what they were going for, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because not that I dislike verbose writing, but sometimes it feels
like, not like Tolkien.
Well, at least there wasn't a 40-page stretch of descriptions of fish. Moby Dick. Anyway. No, but you know what I mean? It would have mundane details that don't actually mean anything, and they don't come back being overly descriptive of them, which felt kind of padding-ish at times. Again, maybe one of the two is definitely a little bit more on that side of the fence as a writer, clearly.
Right. Again,
wouldn't be surprising if it was the engineer, because they're used to being detailed. Fair enough. But, simple end of the world story. Pretty good. A couple interesting characters and nothing you haven't probably seen before, but it was a good ride for what it was. About a little over 600 pages. Beyond that, I continued watching Senran Kagura just because.
Lesbian?
Yeah, it can't all be end of the world.
Lesbian titty ninjas.
Yeah, so. I've seen it before, but it was something.
It's a thinking man's anime.
Yeah, it's well known for its plot.
Huge plot.
Yeah, like huge plot.
Mm-hmm. I know you like the one. What's her name?
Homura.
Homura, yeah.
Yeah, because she's got the more tan.
My favorite in the series is Hibari.
Okay. Is she the one that's always preying on Asuka?
No, she's the one with the pink hair.
Oh, no, okay, yeah. The one that almost looks like they got hearts in their eyes all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But my favorite overall is Minori, which is in the OVA that they made.
I love the fact that nobody can, outside of usually Asuka, no one can remember the names of these characters, including myself.
Yeah, there's a bunch that I'm like
I can name a few of them. Katsuragi, Ikaruga.
Yeah, she's the one she's got the biggest chest, right?
No.
No. She's one of them now.
She's one of them, but the one with the biggest chest is the neat girl.
Yeah. And then there's
shit. 100% blanking on her name.
And then there's Riona, who's like
Riona, who's the masochist.
Yes.
Ryobi, who's the sadist.
Who's the one that's like the flat one with the patch?
Oh, that's shit.
The Yagi Jubei wannabe.
No, she has like
on her name too.
She has like the cat ears.
I think that's Mirai.
Yeah.
Like again, further proving my point, nobody can remember these girls' names very well. It's just like
I know like 87 of them.
Yeah.
It's like
haven't you seen the
5 trillion Senran Kagura?
I love how
like I have one of these games too.
Hey,
so
if I can remember if I can remember nearly all of Cinderella girls, then including the unvoiced ones, yeah.
Well, that's probably that's probably why you can't remember all these.
Like, can anybody remember?
We've already got all these.
Can anybody remember all these? Can anybody remember all the characters from Horizon on the Middle of Nowhere?
I can get some of them.
I can get some of the ones that I like.
Ton of characters.
That's a big cast actually.
Girlfriend Beta's another one that's just got a giant cast of.
And then there's some shows that are just really long-winded, and because of it, they have a fuck ton of characters.
Bleach.
Well, yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. We call it Clorox. I got this funny visual of our video being flagged for that.
We could continue the narrative that we got going, or just introduce another character. Yeah,
that you will meet for one episode and never see again. that sort of shit happens in a lot of those long shoujin type shows where they'll do that. It's just like, oh, instead of the monster of the day, we have the guest of the day.
Yep.
It's like, who do you think you are, The Simpsons?
Drawn Girl in the IRC, Nagima has a big cast too.
Oh yeah,
yes, it does.
I remember studying that seating chart.
Oh yeah.
Like
with all of these characters, and I still don't remember 3/4 of them.
Some shows actually do have like. Let's be honest. There are some shows that have a really big kind of world, and because of it, it can be really daunting. Like, imagine if you're a noob to Gundam.
Yeah.
Like, or even Star Trek or something. It's like, it's gonna be confusing at first, for sure. Because it's like, okay, now not only do I have all these different series, OVAs, and movies and all this stuff, and manga, but all these characters, all these different weapons and robots and timelines, and it doesn't help.
You could get lost just following the Zaku development tree.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, I'm just talking about UC. I'm not even including alternate universes.
Yeah.
Which then that's even crazier because those aren't technically considered part of the other one. So you have to keep those straight too. Again, it's very akin to having sort of an internal database. It's like, okay, move this over here. Okay, the G Gundam weaponry is in this slot, you know.
Database animals.
Yeah. Yes.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, because that's being used as a judgment call rather than just sort of an
observation.
Just an observation, yeah.
It's you like this thing. You're too obsessive about this thing. You like this thing too much. I can't believe someone wrote that on your...
that from people that are still bitching about Trump.
Anything else?
I'd rather like something that too much than hate something too much. That's about it for what I've watched.
Oh, I got something. I did watch a couple of scattered episodes of Captain Tyler.
Oh, I'm like 2 episodes into that series. I still need to finish that.
It was dubbed, so I was kind of grumbling a little bit, but
isn't that the soccer thing? Captain Tyler?
No, that's a space opera anime.
Oh, yeah.
The Irresponsible Captain Tyler.
The Irresponsible.
Yeah. That thing that keeps getting released over and over by Nozomi.
Which, by the way, speaking of old shows, I showed the girlfriend the El Gaim opening.
Yeah.
And we were laughing about how 80s it is. I mean, don't get us wrong. It's awesome. It's awesome.
The opening's the shit.
Oh, yeah, it's a great song, but holy shit, that fucking Transformers robot voice.
Heavy metal.
Yeah.
Heavy metal. Yeah, it's like, holy shit.
Don't forget the hair, the character's hair.
Yeah, I mean, this is so 80s you could get an STD from it. I mean, seriously. That being said, it is awesome. If you like mecha, you definitely need to see Heavy Metal El Gaim.
Yeah. Here's a secret. Tomino is the one that actually writes the lyrics to said shows.
So do we have him to blame for Fly Gundam? Or Tobey Gundam?
Well, then you have to blame him for This Is Not Anime.
Well, how about...
Well, okay, so we have him to blame for all the bad ones, but then we also have him to blame for all the good ones too.
Is it just me, or does Tobey Gundam almost sound like it would be... I've always thought it... Excuse me, had something caught. I've always thought it sounded like World War II propaganda. Sounded like some kind of World War II singing thing. Or, if not that, I could almost see like some sort of guy dressed up as a host for a game show or something singing it. I don't know why. But
I'm going to be very honest with you and crucify me if you wish, but I actually skipped the opening every single time when I watched First Gundam.
Blasphemer! Come on, man. It's ridiculous.
I usually watch the opening once all the way through, but I got like a few lines into that opening is like, there's no way I'm going to actually enjoy this. I'm just going to skip to the show. I'm sorry.
Which means he had to put pen to paper to Dayton 3. Dayton 3. No, it goes 1, 2, 3. Dayton 3.
I'm getting disturbing flashbacks of that Family Matters bit.
Maybe
I just thought of that too.
Maybe, just maybe, Tamino should have had someone who knows music to write.
Stop using the equivalent of Shakira lyricist.
Perhaps he should have, got someone qualified to write his lyrics.
Yeah, well, we all love Tamino, if nothing else, just for the names. Come on. Then again, even the ones he's not in charge of have weird names. Yeah, really. Exactly. Like it's almost like they're it's almost like they see his names. It's like, okay, we can't make these names too normal. We gotta.
It's like, I'm sorry, what's your name?
Kitty Kit.
South Burning.
Yeah, I'm South Burning. No, it all has to bow before Shot Weapon. I mean, like, what?
Let's make some. Let's come up with some new Targeter Laser.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Besides, there's already a guy named that. His name is Lock-on
Strato. and I say it again. They completely missed the ball with that, because he should have just shouted his call sign every time he locked onto an enemy. That would have been the coolest thing ever. But to be fair, I think Gundam 00 was trying to be a great deal more down to earth than that, and having someone shout "lock on" every time he, every time he's having the sniper
that's
scream every time he's about to pull the trigger. It's probably a bad call.
Like, can you imagine if the guy in the movie Enemy at the Gates did that? Like he's like, I got the Germans in my sight, lock on, and then you just get sniped in the fucking head. Whoops. Zaitsev, why did you do that? No, but going back to weird names and stuff. I mean, that's a tradition they've carried on too, because even the newer ones are pretty weird in that department. Some less than the classics. I mean, lock on for everything outside of being hilarious, and you get what it says on the 10.
Well, I mean, you got Biscuit Griffin.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah.
I'm sorry. What's your name? Biscuit Griffin.
Do you work for Purina? I mean, what the fuck?
And let me introduce you to my little sisters, Cookie and Cracker Griffin.
Are you related to Trisket?
I feel like they're kind of phoning it in with Biscuit, because that's just like, it's like, okay, you put two words together, didn't you?
Yeah, you literally have a hat you put words in. You've got a food, and you've got, I don't know, an adjective or something.
Yeah, okay, I got one.
Fucking ad-lib that shit.
Okay, I made up my own one.
Okay.
Turbo Blaster.
Yeah, but see, that one would only work if it was an 80s one, though. Nobody would probably use one like that now.
Yeah, we got names like Alleluia Haptism now.
Don't remind me. Fucking. Is it weird that the most normal name in that entire fucking show is Setsuna?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. No.
So wait a second,
there's a girl named Louise.
Actually, well, yeah, okay.
You got to give them that. Fucking Alia Sanchez. Did you see the fucking parody where somebody put him on the cover of GQ?
Yes.
That was fucking funny. Of course, somebody's like, what are they talking about? Well, back when this show was actually running, I mean, I don't know if people still do this, but it certainly was something people did at the time. Same with Code Geass and whatnot. People would do a lot of like Photoshop stuff for these things, just for the official cover art, official like art and promo stuff. And people did that. They put him on the cover of GQ and had this really ridiculous thing on there. It was pretty funny. Yeah, because he's who would be on the cover of GQ. Actually, nowadays that might be true.
Seriously.
Anyway,
anything else?
All right, VZ, what are you up to?
Okay, so yesterday I watched a OVA that I've seen before, but today is actually the 30th anniversary of it. I'm not going to pronounce its Japanese name, but it's translated as Steel Devil or Demon of Steel.
I like the latter, to be honest. It sounds
Demon of Steel.
It sounds more grand somehow.
Yeah, that's the one that I usually see it more as. 1987 OVA, so 30 years ago.
Even saying that's disturbing when you say that. 30 years ago.
Well, okay. So, first off, here's who made it. You got like this trifecta of just 80s insanity. Of who's who. Toshio Hirano is the director.
All right.
So that's like Ixer and the first Megazone and.
Yep.
So resume there. Okay.
Animation by Masami Obari.
Everybody knows.
Okay.
All right. And were there jiggling boobies?
No, unfortunately. Unfortunately, mecha designed by Koichi Ohata.
Huh. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Very nice. Collaborative.
The thing about this
collaborative
OVA,
works.
It's a almost hour-long OVA. The first half an hour is actually quite dull and boring because nothing happens.
Is it like Talking Heads or something like that?
Yeah, it's all Talking Heads. It's basically they open up like this portal and
I swore you were going to say porno.
There's and like there's like artifact that comes out of it, and
oh no, I already see where this is going.
And two guys and one guy pilots one and the other one pilots the other. And okay, but here's the thing: the second half an hour is crazy awesome because it's just more or less just one big fight thing going on.
Okay,
between the two cows, crazy detailed animation. Like the type that I really gush over, the type it's all hand done.
Right.
When I talk about hand,
I didn't think it was rotoscoped or anything.
Here's the thing: the mecha are actually more like biomechanical mecha.
Mm.
So people think Ava invented that, or like,
oh no,
I
mean, it's probably the most popular one that kind of did that, but
well, that was like from Dunbine.
Yeah, I mean. And even then, there was stuff way back when that kind. Yeah, exactly. I was just going to mention that.
No, but the second half an hour is just really cool with again really detailed, and it's in one another those like
it's one and done. It doesn't. It's self-contained.
Yeah, it's a one shot. There's a bunch of those. Again, it's one of those like OVAs that there was a bunch of these. Like it was probably a vanity project where it's like I got this idea.
We're just
gonna
get
some money.
Together.
Okay, here you go.
It's okay, we sold a lot of Mitsubishis this year. Okay,
you don't need to have much of a story. Just do.
While that was case in point, while that was a joke, that actually probably is more realistically how that occurred.
It's it's just a lot of those OVAs were pretty much just vague concept of but we have this awesome design. Let's animate it.
Sometimes, I do think they'll come up with some kind of design or basic like hook before they come up with anything else, and it's like
today that won't happen because today
money they don't have the abundance of money to be doing that.
Yeah, it's very risk adverse, which people don't understand, and people like why do they keep making the same because
people understand it, they're just dumb
don't like it.
And they don't like it. They wish it was
like did you know
some other way?
Like, did you know, and I'm sure VZ probably knows this, but maybe you do too. Did you know the origin behind Gurren Lagann was them just trying to think of ways to make drill weaponry and make an anime about that?
That one I didn't hear, but I wouldn't be surprised.
No, that literally is what they said. They had like the idea of like being obsessed with the drills for some reason. And
sounds like
again because drills are super robot. staple.
Right, but that's the entirety of where this show came from.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, if you know a lot about anime, that doesn't surprise any of you.
No.
Exactly.
Like, oh yeah, I can believe that. Like when I heard that story, I didn't go, no way, or anything like that. It was one of those like, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, like, again, even though the first half an hour was boring, it's one of those that I would love to see get a Blu-ray.
Let's be honest. Japan operates on what I call the horror movie principle, and that's as long as it's making money and people are coming to it, they're going to keep making it.
Yeah, well, I mean, considering the market was so like thirsty for rental content, because that's what the OVA market basically.
And people forget about that because their perception of that is different than ours. Because they were a little bit behind the curve on that, in the sense that the home movie market hit here with much more ferocity than it did there originally. I mean, once
they embraced.
It was a bigger market to begin with.
They embraced like Laserdisc and all that.
Exactly. The idea of home anime is slightly a different idea because like Mazinger Z originally wasn't even available. You just saw it on TV.
Okay, this is something I remember reading somewhere.
You could record it off of TV. That's how you got it.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong on this. If either of you two know anything more about this, but one of the and I don't know if this is a theory or if this was proven, but one of the theories I heard for why Japanese disc releases are so expensive is because originally otaku were so obsessed that they would go out and buy the rental releases.
That's what I heard.
It's by default.
Yeah, that's what I read too. That's why.
That's one of those things that I can't verify, but I can believe it.
They just stuck with that business model because it worked. They were still buying it regardless of how expensive they were.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of business models that are kind of operating on what I called the horror movie principle there, Mega Man 11 just was announced.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a game franchise, Mega Man, that absolutely operates on this principle. Because, let's be honest, most of those games aren't very different from each other, except for maybe graphical tweaks and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, all the Nintendo ones were literally the same.
Yeah, you could argue that a lot of it was even palette swaps and things like that.
If you have a working formula,
but the thing is,
regardless of how many times.
But yeah, that's exactly right, because I bought every one of those damn things.
How many times have you seen Tetris redone?
Yeah, like columns
released on
Dr. Mario,
that platform, or a Dr. Mario, a Dr. Mario or Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Puyo Pop, anything like that. Pokemon Puzzle Challenge.
And nowadays you see that even with the kind of online game thing, like those games, Candy Crush and all those variants and whatnot.
Exactly, all these matching games.
And they're popular as hell with that intended crowd.
Exactly.
Here's another thing. That's why still today compilation movies are popular, because it's a way to revisit the show without
having to sit through the whole show.
Yeah, having to buy the whole expensive show. You're buying the movie and getting the best moments.
Exactly.
And in the old times, that was the only way to probably get like the original Gundam was the 3 movies rather than like the whole series.
And it's interesting to look at stuff like this because it does show a very different concept of a business model than we have here. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's kind of dictated by, well, where the money comes and goes. I mean, and some of it arguably was questionable, but it does explain why. Like you said, I mean, I wouldn't have probably thought of that, actually, that because of the expensiveness, that's why you had more compilation movies. I thought it was just more of a sort of like a detail thing or an excuse to try to squeeze new animation in there and things like that.
Well, there's that too.
There's elements of that, but
incorrect stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, well, there's that too. That's the incentive to like, oh, now I could have fixed this thing. I could take out the shit that
Yeah,
I can make this more like what I wanted it to be,
and not what it had to be dictated by restrictions.
Or in the case of some series like Idion, I could now tell the ending I want to tell.
Right.
And rather than what time allowed or whatever.
Well, more like canceled early on, which was
well, yeah. Well, we're talking about old Tamino, so it was canceled. Sorry, man, but it's true. Like, how many of his shows on their first run were just like, yeah, no. Like, the original Gundam was technically supposed to only have, 30-something episodes after, but when they canceled it, he's like, come on, give me a couple more.
No, I think it was supposed to be 50.
No. Let me rephrase that. That's what he was shooting for, but they canceled it in the 30s.
Yeah, and that's what he probably just said.
And he's like, no, you got to give me a few more or I can't finish it. It's not going to work.
Well, that's amazing. Like, there's some shows that just never even got that chance.
No, I mean, there's some other shows, some of which that he actually directed, that suffered a similar fate. Idion being one of them. And heck, even Gundam X, I think, originally had that same problem. It was canceled before it was technically finished.
Like this show called Galvion from 1984, which couldn't even get the last episode out. The last episode, the last couple episodes out, because the studio or whatnot went bankrupt or whatnot.
Went under.
Yeah.
It went Orion on us.
Huh.
No. But that's one of those things that you saw a lot with 80s anime OVAs and whatnot. They would just end abruptly and would never technically finish. And they would never go back either. It would just be like one of those okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, that's like the ending to this one that you guys would actually like, especially you, K-Gods, because it's the character designer that did Double Zeta and Char's Counterattack.
Okay.
Relic, another 1987 one called Relic Armor Legaisem, or I think that's how you pronounce it.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
It's a pretty cool one. Interesting mecha design, but anyway, it's the one where after the ending song, which is a really great 80s song, by the way, at the end it just says in English, "See you later." And it's like, okay, one shot OVA.
What's great about that is old NES games were like that too. When you beat them, sometimes they would just say something like Lost Levels. Like if you get to World 9 and you die off, it just says you are super player. Which see you again, Mario and stuff.
Which imagine if it wasn't the popularity at the time of MD Geist when it was released here. Which then got funding from CPM to make the sequel. That ending to the original OVA, not the director's cut. That was to CPM fund. Just the original 1986 OVA, the part where you see him choking the woman, and he's like, and now it's like my turn. Now it's like my turn, and then you see her screaming, and then it just does the ending song. That was the end. That could have been the end and no more.
And somewhere Elliot Rodger is laughing about that ending or something. I don't know.
It's like it's only the beginning of because the whole reveal was that he was the bad guy the whole time.
Wah, wah. Yeah, like some kind of Twilight Zone type switcheroo deal. No, I mean, but those sort of things are interesting because we have a real obsession here in the West with things ending, like with things having definite endings. That's also why we have some really bad sequels that have come out, I think.
Yeah, well, it's I'm going to use an interesting analogy to an OVA that I've never actually watched, but I know of. But it's an analogy that Daryl Surratt used for the Giant Robo OVAs.
Oh boy.
No, it actually makes sense. It would be if the only movie for said thing is like The Empire Strikes Back, where you don't get the beginning
or the ending.
You're getting literally the middle of the story.
Or how about like this? If you played Final Fantasy VII and after you beat that first reactor thing, it ended, and you had no idea what the fuck was going on.
No, well, maybe a little bit past that. Like maybe with
you don't get out of Midgar.
Eris dying, and then that's it. That first disc. That's it.
No,
That's the end.
no, because that still gives you a lot more information about like what your goal is and everything. No. It's just got to be like you're the crew bombing the reactors. Like you're getting the weird Sephiroth like flashbacks and stuff, but nothing is explained. You don't know who he is. Like you don't know why this is happening.
Say that's funny. Like some of these are even lucky that they at least end where on a story where it makes sense in the story to end. Some certainly 45 minutes. That's it. Can you have a resolution? No, 45 minutes. That's it. That's all the time. That's all you had money for.
That's as far as we got.
I've got the perfect example of all this. Gao Kaiser.
Give your example.
Gao Kaiser.
Okay.
Like, I have no idea what is going on, who these characters are, what they're doing. It ends, and I still have no idea.
Wait, what?
I have a feeling that's because I never played the games, though.
No, well, the one I'm referencing is one from 1986 called Root Search, which is basically one of two OVAs that came out pretty much near the same time. Actually, the other one came out in 87. But it was basically influenced by Alien.
Right. Okay.
And in this one, it's like literally it's like instead of like having a resolution, it just stops.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Mentioned Bastard earlier. That one's kind of I did mention it, but to explain something, that one wasn't really their fault though.
No, that one I know about that. I know about because the director got arrested.
He got arrested. That wasn't they ran out of funds or anything like that. He just the law was involved, and I don't. It wasn't like a Rurouni Kenshin situation either. Like to my knowledge, wasn't it drug related or something?
Probably.
I know.
Morning Rise chat says Galvion has the most awesome opening. Yeah, it's a pretty cool opening. Very 80s.
It's like you know it's a 80s opening when you start seeing quaffs and shit.
Oh, like and grid lines and such.
Yeah, like
the Tron lines.
The Tron lines, yeah. Sort of similar to our logo.
Yeah.
Which you could almost see it being a title of a Sega game. Like, because if you look at those old box art, good times.
The other stuff I'm watching.
No, it was not inspired by Vaporwave.
All the stuff by them, everything else continues to be great, more or less. Loving Blend S. Every episode's been hilarious. I love that show. What a sense of humor.
I need to just sit down and watch some of these newer shows because
I really recommend Blend S. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I need to check out Blend S.
And the reason I haven't been is because family situation, hospital visits and things like that. So it's been kind of, more important shit. And
really great cast of characters too, which again, it kind of reminds me of like at least the original working, like the humor for that. But again, I just really like these characters, and I hope it gets another season down the line. If not, then at least you could look at this thing.
I not that I usually like bringing in things that happen in chats and whatnot off topic, but the other. I don't remember if it was earlier today or last night. I can't even remember. That's how nasty that sleep I took was. But remember, I think it was Novu who was talking about bad things about corporations or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And you asked him to define a corporation. And I was just thinking, it's like there's a certain group of people out there that think everybody who works for a corporation is a Captain Planet villain
or Mr. Burns.
I mean, and to be fair, some of them are. I mean, let's not completely lie. Some of them are pretty villainous in their kind of behavior. But come on, not everybody is greedy or loot and plunder.
No, that's one of my pet peeves is people talking shit about business when they don't know anything about business.
Well, you have hands-on experience there.
I don't want to shit on the guy, But yeah, no, I got
No.
upset.
No, I'm not really shitting on him. I thought that was funny because we were talking about 80s stuff and, you know, corporations and Captain Planet and shit like that.
Although, you know what? That does bring up a point. Not in TV anime, but in
you
you
need to hurry up with this point because we're like 50 minutes into this segment and we need to take a break.
Okay, give me 2 minutes.
Do it.
All right. So basically, a lot of like OVAs and movies from the 80s had like the corporate villains.
Get 'em.
Yeah, get 'em.
A lot of sci-fi and cyberpunk has
Akira,
like that's
they all
that's like a thing throughout media.
Zone 2-3 also kind of had that.
That I have to say that is largely products of the Reagan era in a way. I mean,
well, like the Japanese bubble economy era.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about in terms of sci-fi and things here.
Here, yeah, of course.
Because you know he had, you know, degree in business or economics or whatnot, and people thought that didn't. For some reason, people thought that did not count toward being a leader or something. For some reason, I guess they were more mad that he was an actor.
And to finish everything off, liking everything else from this season. Love Life Sunshine has actually been really great. Love is Like a Cocktail been great. Umara-chan
continues to be a little shit.
Yeah.
Still the most annoying little shit.
Side M is the only one that's like average, even though I'm still watching, has been Side M. And it's not because they're male idols, it just feels very average, especially this season when everything else is just being so great. And Side M is the show that I like watch where I shrink down the window and I'm browsing my internet, but I'm still watching.
Like, you know? as opposed to Umaro-chan, who clearly has like an IV drip with fucking Coca-Cola in it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like when I'm watching like Blend S, that show I have my undivided attention for.
Right.
That show is so good. Got it.
We're up against the break. Next segment, we're going to go over some news, and then we have a bunch of micro topics to go through. So keep it right here on NTR Radio.
Cool.
Hit that button.
Holy shit! I was not paying attention to that rotation in the background. I did not even really see that.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah.
Who is that? Oh,
that is the main character from. Well, not the.
Let's Do It, right?
Yeah, the color illustration from Saitom's Let's Do It.
All right, I'll be right back.
I knew I recognized that. Even though the thing was kind of in the way from my observation there. It's an invitation.
What I discovered a while ago, I still have the. Remember when Zeke Freak went on that big rant about Aniplex?
Oh yeah,
I still have the audio files from that.
Why?
And I just never deleted them.
Just never needed emergency space.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, this thing is actually running out of space, so I might delete that. I think I ripped them in wave format too, so it's like they take up a whole lot more space than normal.
Than otherwise would, yeah. At least they're not .og. Remember how they thought that was
playing them at all?
Remember how people thought that was going to be the new thing?
And I get it. It's an open source thing.
But it did not take off.
It really did not take off.
Because now it's like .og. They're like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Vorbis? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, exactly. You know they have an OGG video format?
Dare I ask what this one is?
It's basically the same thing but with video. I have one file in the OGG video format, and that's the Daikon animations.
Okay, I was gonna say, because way back when, for the kids out there that are listening to the show, there used to be a thing where you couldn't just download an MKV or MP4 or whatever. You ended up getting stuck with Real Player or QuickTime shit.
Real
fucking
Player.
20-second fucking video bites. It's like, hey, this GeoCities website has a 20-second clip from La Blue Girl or Dragon Ball Z.
All right, I'll be right back.
And I will be as well.
Hold on. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah. Just have to wait for others to return. Yep. Yep. Yep.
I'm back.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I actually got an idea for one of the micro topics.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to. Okay.
I'm back as well.
Roger, I'm gonna send you guys an article on the sidebar.
Do you want us to read it before we go?
No, not really. I'm just looking to see if because I don't remember if we talked about this, but this is something that we might have talked. This is something that we would have talked about if I'd remembered. So I don't think I remember talking about this.
Actually, you did. Actually, you did.
Did I?
Yeah.
Redirecting you.
Did we talk about this particular article though? About this article.
You showed me, but I don't think we talked about it.
Okay, I want to at least mention.
Oh no! I know when we talked. I know when we talked about it. It was the show where only you and I were on, and then I think you found this.
Oh, Funko. Okay. Putting the funk in Funko. I don't know.
Yeah, they're the ones who do those fucking pop vinyls.
I'm just gonna say, that crown makes this look like a pimp organization.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you expect? You're basically selling the same thing with the basic.
Women.
Oh, you hear about Disney and Fox?
Disney do a lot of stuff. What about it?
What was it? Disney and 20th Century Fox are close to merging in $60 billion deal.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. Basically, Disney's gonna buy everything. I'm gonna make a prediction now.
Here's the thing, though. Fox is owned by News Corp. Am I right?
So.
Yeah.
Do I need to get out that list again about like the 6 main things that show?
That 6 is going to be 5.
Not if they buy Fox. That would just mean they're buying it from News Corp.
Anyway, because of the how poorly the DC movies have been doing.
Oh, I can tell you why that is.
Oh, I know, but I wouldn't be surprised if Warner Brothers sells DC and Disney buys it in like less than 3 years.
Same reason Marvel's doing bad.
Well, no, the Marvel movies do good. It's the Marvel comics that are doing bad. That's the difference.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, no, Marvel comics are doing awful because of the social justice
bullshit.
Pandering. The movies are doing crazy well for Marvel. And that's because Disney has the capital to do all those like those like standalone movies that introduce the characters. Warner Brothers clearly doesn't have that. So here's Justice League with Flash already. Who's the Flash? I don't know, man. Well, here's your movie. But more than that, it's like I said, I don't expect Warner Brothers to own DC within a couple of years. We'll
see. Things can certainly go in strange directions with some of this stuff.
Yeah. And whatever happens, VZ will still be like, yeah, that's right. I'm gonna look at my Japanese IP. You know, even though I get not annoyed, but it's kind of like, really that a lot of these really high-profile Japanese figure companies like Bandai and Good Smile Company and Max Factory, they've been making a lot of like. Granted, they're making the best versions of said characters, but they've been doing a lot of like Western IP stuff, especially the new brand new stuff. Like the stuff from these movies. Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. And granted, they're better than anything in the Western market could make.
That's for sure.
But I'm still, to me, it's like it fills a slot that would otherwise be better served by something of a cooler Japanese IP. You know, that's my.
I don't know what if and business standpoint, if you're looking at it from a demographic point of view, where you look at, okay, these people really like high quality toys and they're really not getting that, especially in terms of like posable figures. They're really not getting that a whole lot from the Western market. That's a market hole, and GSC is not dumb.
Here's the thing,
they know how to exploit a market hole.
Well, here's the thing. They have high quality for the Western market, but high quality is still at a budget price of like $20 if you want like a 6-inch figure.
Yep.
Like the Star Wars Black series, which is like their premium line.
Speaking of Star Wars, I'm actually going to see it this week.
Oh, you are?
All right. Lovely.
Yep. I'll report back.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Yeah. I just want to know if the chubby Asian chick is worth anything. The only thing I'm interested in.
What the fuck?
There's a chubby Asian girl.
Oh, that just struck me as funny.
Which makes it sound like either SJW pandering or,
to be fair,
not fetish pandering.
Wasn't their pandering supposed to be Rogue One though?
Yeah, but it was also the Force Awakenings and Mary Sue Ray and.
Dude, I saw that movie and I don't see what the fuck they're talking about.
All right, ready on second segment.
Really strong female characters.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio.
We've got news.
We have news.
Let's news.
Working to restore power.
So speaking of business models we were talking about last segment, here's a story of a company with a bad business model. Toy maker Funko had the worst first day return for an IPO in 17 years.
Well,
this is from Cartoon Brew on November 5th, 2017.
Amidi? Yeah.
Yeah, Amidi.
I'm sorry, sir, ma'am, whatever. I can't pronounce your name, and I'm not sure how to. So we did the best we could.
To clarify, what an IPO is when a company goes public, they have the initial offering of stock to the public, and Funko's IPO, from its initial price at $12 per share, dropped to $7.07 a share.
Holy shit.
41% drop. The worst IPO in 17 years.
Like, keep in mind, I don't think they just mean in this market. They mean in general, right?
In general, the worst IPO in 17 years.
Holy shit.
For across the board.
Well, yeah, all right, but now let's say why. Because
Anubis is the resident business expert. He probably can explain this better.
Yeah, I don't even need to explain it. I can just, it's here in the article. The company has around $320 million in debt as of June 30th, 2017. Private equity firms have vied for ownership of the company in the last few years, according to analyst reports. At least $100 million of cash was taken out of the company by its private equity owners. The IPO launched in a large part to help pay down the debt. So it's not even that they went public because they thought it was a really good idea to go public. They went public because they were $320 million in debt.
Yeah. So if you think your college loans are bad,
for Funko to succeed, the Everett Washington Company must convince investors of the validity of its operating principle that almost everyone is a fan of something, and its mission to create products that enable fans to express their affinity for their favorite something, whether it's a movie, TV show, video game, musician, or sports team. Funko's goal to dominate the global licensed pop culture product industry, sitting within the entertainment and character products market, which generated $113 billion in total sales last year. Funko, for its part, generated $425 million in revenue in 2016, along with a catalog of content licenses for over 1,000 properties, many of which are animated IPs. So basically, what Funko does is acquire licenses to
everything.
Acquire licenses to literally everything.
Everything. You name it,
to create
they have
it. To create these basically template designed
urban vinyl
small figures.
It's popularizing the urban vinyl, because before them the urban vinyl was fairly expensive, although there was like some other companies, like Hasbro had the one I showed you, whose name I forgot. Mighty Mugs, that was it. I've seen some other ones.
But Funko prides itself on its fast fashion product development process that allows it to quickly design, manufacture, and distribute toys to take advantage of pop culture fads.
Cheap crap.
We've designed templates that anything can be applied to, and that allows us to very quickly and very cheaply manufacture these small toys.
Yeah, $10 a pop.
Yeah, I mean, from a business perspective, yeah, I could see how they make a fuck ton of money.
Well, obviously not, because they're $320 million in debt. And had the worst IPO in 17 years. Obviously, they're not making all that much money.
I'm talking about before this occurred. Obviously, they did well enough to be as popular as they were.
Well, and this is anecdotal, but while I was at Anime NYC, overheard one of the congoers talking to one of the shopkeepers, one of the vendors, and the Congo was asking, "Hey, or do you have any more Funko Pops?" And the vendor was saying, "No, what we have out is all we have right now. I'm trying to get out of that market."
Oh, so yeah, they see which way the wind is blowing.
They see which way the wind is blowing. At least that one vendor.
That one dude did. Yeah,
perhaps the days are numbered of going to cons and seeing the wall of Funko Pops.
It sounds to me like what they did ultimately was they saw a market hole and they seized on it, and they flooded it. But it busted really quick in the sense that like because they were making obviously a reasonable amount of money at some point. And
if they had, and that might not even be it, because this happens a lot more in the tech space, but you'll see a lot of these companies that run themselves from venture capital infusion to venture capital infusion, and they don't actually make any money, but they'll sell off portions of their business to venture capitalists. And they'll get their money that way so they can operate until the next VC round.
So basically it's sort of a they're basically bouncing from I'm just trying to kind of follow you here. They're bouncing from thing to thing. They sort of recoup their original amount they've poured into it, and basically try to go elsewhere when it doesn't succeed.
It's basically
sometimes sort of like you see cyclical in a way, almost like they put the money in, they make some of it back, but just enough to where they get back their money, and then they don't make any more, and they kind of leave the sinking ship and try to hop to another one and do the same thing.
Yeah, sometimes it's not even that though. You'll see a lot of these internet media companies that popped up in the last 7 years.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
They run this.
Got any specific example?
Not really. They're the ones you didn't hear about because they're not the BuzzFeed or they're not the.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Kind of like the low rent ones.
Yeah, the low rent ones. People who saw, and this is the same thing that's happening in tech. People saw the trend, say, "Hey, the BuzzFeed's making a whole lot of money. Let's do that." And
we're going to try to get in on that before it crashes.
Exactly. They don't actually know the success model of BuzzFeed.
Yeah, so they don't
try
actually
and do
make
that
it.
in a halfway sort of way. But venture capitalists also saw BuzzFeed and said, "Hey, if I can get in on the next BuzzFeed, I'll make a whole lot of money." So they invest in these companies that are faking the funk.
I gotcha.
In reality, these companies aren't making any money. They're just operating from.
They're trying to pick up the scraps that other people are kind of trailblazing.
Yeah.
Not even pick up the scraps. It's like the business equivalent of living paycheck to paycheck. Just living venture capital infusion.
Right. That does not sound like a very sustainable or smart way to do it.
It's not very smart. It's not sustainable at all. And a lot of companies go out of business that way, and a lot of people lose a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that a lot of as far as I can tell, I'm not part of the tech community, but I mean, I talk to people a lot, and they seem to say that a big bubble is coming, a crash. It's not a.
I've heard the same thing.
It's and again, these are very reputable people. These are not like
Well,
these are not people that haphazardly read like the Wall Street Journal or something. I'm talking people that actually work in this industry who've said that it's not a matter of if, it's when.
Well, I can tell you that the domestic toy market, more or less, it seems like it's going to be on a crash because of all these little things that have been going on that I see because I observe the Western toy market.
And this is bad because so many things are plugged into tech, though. Like so much of our everything, infrastructure. I mean, just everything is plugged into tech.
Here's the thing about that point. All the ones that are gonna Facebook's gonna survive whatever crash is coming.
Well, right, yeah, I don't doubt that.
All the ones that actually matter, they'll be fine.
Yeah,
it's Joe Donut's Android app.
Yeah,
Joe Donut's Android app is not going to be fine.
Well, I suppose then the crash.
All the little things like Yik Yak, which doesn't exist anymore, or Secret. Yelp will probably survive, but all these little like messaging apps that you've never heard of, they're going to be done.
They're going to be thought of the same way you think of OG.
Exactly.
It's going to be something that it's a footnote. You might remember it as it was something that tried to exist, and that okay, I got what you're saying. But and again, this crash, I mean, yeah, it's going to be very similar to like when a new musical trend comes out and kills a previous one, and that it's going to be like a sweeping tide that just pulls all the crap out.
And to steer it back to Funko, it wouldn't surprise me if Funko was running on that same paradigm where they saw the success of, say, even if they saw the success of, say, Good Smile Company.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like Nendoroids or something like that.
Yeah, that is Good
Smile Company.
Oh yeah, duh. You said Good Smile Company.
They saw Good Smile and they saw the Nendoroid line and said, "Hey, if we can do that much cheaper, maybe we can get on board with this with the thing." And to their credit, I see a whole lot of them, so they got to be doing something right.
Their production obviously is working.
Either that or they're producing a whole lot of the stuff and it just isn't moving. It just isn't moving on the retail level.
Here's what I'm thinking too. I think like for many of the people that this kind of targets, because they have the large licenses, it's some people might be interested in only a particular, like they'll pick up the ones from a particular license or particular character from said license, and then that's what a lot of people do. That's what I think, and that sounds nice, but it doesn't keep the long-term success of like people buying it because they like the way the figures are. I mean,
well, it's this thing where, yeah, people are gonna go in and get this and that license, but like there are just so many Funko Pops throughout so many different sectors of entertainment media. They're like, I'm going to Google right now. I guarantee you can find a Marshawn Lynch pop. Either of you know who Marshawn Lynch is, do you?
No.
Yeah, he's a football player.
So I kind of understand. You're sort of hinting at.
Yeah, here we go. Marshawn Lynch Funko Pop. So there's multiple of them. So it's like, how many people are how many exactly people are gonna get the Marshawn Lynch Funko Pop, and then what set are they going to? It's like, I met someone at a convention, that this past summer who was collecting like the whole Gears of War 3 Funko Pops.
Okay,
it's like cool in the gang, but what then happens to the Monsters Inc. Funko Pops, and what then happens to the I don't fucking know.
Would you say that this is an example of when the demand isn't very high, but the supply is?
Yes, I think this is an example of them overextending their supply.
So basically,
overestimating what exactly they would need it to make.
Yeah, so it's like, rather than when people actually do the opposite, when the demand is really high but the supply isn't and they can't meet it, this is almost the inverse of that.
Exactly.
To where they've overextended where they think how many they're going to need, but they nowhere near hit that target.
It's like this. Did they really need to acquire 1,000 licenses?
In a way, I think ADV kind of had this problem too when they they went on a licensing spree and got a bunch of stuff, but they did not really. It seemed like they just did it just to be doing it and picking things up, and like nobody was interested in half of it. And I know that tied in partially with them almost having to liquidate.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there was some legal maneuvering in there too. That's a whole episode in and of itself.
Well, here's a question for Anubis. Let's say they decide to one day make Funko Pop virtual on.
Hey, I got it. Yeah.
Number one,
they haven't made any of us yet.
NTR Radio. Funko Pops. I'm like,
number
thanks.
one,
but I'd rather
actually, I would oppose this.
Yeah, no,
Android or Figma.
I wouldn't sell that license to the Funko company. But if
you cannot use my likeness in this way.
Okay, understand this, Vizzy. That would require anyone in this organization to know what virtual on is. Number two, understand how god awful those things would look. Because it's not like they're going to change around their design philosophy.
Yeah, their core way they do things with those.
Their template.
No, that would cost more money than it would be worth doing to begin with.
And at $320 million in debt, they should probably save money.
Yeah, like it's not like, and not only that, but are they having like a bunch of sales right now or something to try to recoup some of that money? Or
I wouldn't know.
Like, are they doing like the thing where like furniture stores go out of business and you can get like whole mattresses for like fucking $100 and stuff?
Well, realistically, I imagine that would be more at the wholesale level than at the resale level.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because you see that though with, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about when you see like not even department stores, but like just
whenever any store goes out of business.
When they're like, all sales final, everything must go kind of stuff. I mean, it's good when you need cheap like furniture or something like that. I mean, obviously it's not good for them.
There you go. Let's say I'm just looking at some on Amazon. They got a Bob Ross.
What?
Yep.
What? Who the fuck's going to buy that other than like, okay, guilty thing. I used to watch it when I was a kid.
It's ditto. Same.
Actually, I actually learned how to paint because of him. But no way in fuck am I buying a Bob Ross Funko Pop. Are you fucking kidding me?
Let's see. Crash Bandicoot, I see.
Well, yeah, but see, something like that you could see. I mean, I wouldn't, but I could see a fan of that.
Two
buying
people
one of
on
those.
Earth owning the Crash Bandicoot Funko Pop.
Which is two more than I can see owning the Bob Ross. Sorry, but do you know anybody who would buy this?
No, and that's the problem.
I mean, like, even fans of
IPs and
the joy of painting fans aren't going to buy this. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, who's gonna buy these products? Why are they making them? They just buy up IPs and make products without really understanding who's gonna.
It's like, gonna buy. Don't you have Don't you have some kind of fucking coordinator that can actually point out that, hey, nobody's buying this shit?
Guarantee you, GSC wouldn't make this mistake.
I could have sworn I saw a Voltron
Kia
one.
wouldn't make this mistake.
I could have sworn I saw a Voltron one.
It's like, hey, come and get your Benji Funko Pop. I know I'm going to regret this, but does anybody want? Does anybody want to look up a Krusty the Clown one? I bet they have one.
Oh, they have The Simpsons, yeah. They have.
Because let's move on from a bad business model to a good business model.
Woot.
Faku acquires Kitty Media from Media Blasters.
Yeah. So this means that Media Blasters is doing even worse than we thought.
So speaking of bad business models, Media Blasters probably not doing very well, but good business models is Faku's coming back to hentai anime. Because you'll remember a while ago, they actually had, this is back before they were legit, they actually had the actual streaming rights to Immoral Sisters.
I was thinking, didn't they? Yeah, that was the one, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember it was even the dub too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm still looking at these. I'm still looking at these Funko Pops just for myself.
They're going back into hentai anime.
Which we should bring up something for those that are not in the know. Kitty Media has a couple of really high-profile ones too.
Yep.
The obviously biggest one would be Bible Black, of course. Everybody, and because of the maneuvering, they also have Urotsuka Doji.
Yep.
And
which means Faku now owns the license to both the manga and the anime for Urotsuka Doji.
Which, by the way, can you guys at least put the OVAs out?
Yeah, that's what That's what.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I dislike the movie version, but I really would like the OVAs. Just saying.
Okay, here's a ridiculous one that's like, who this is for? All right, Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street, but not just any Freddy, but in a pixelated 8-bit style. So it makes it look like a Lego.
Right.
Yeah. Again, it's like, continue on. You know what I would like to see them do, because they actually brought it was kind of asked in that ANN show. It would be interesting if they could get shows that are like not hentai but like borderline.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sort of like the kiss
Yeah,
like,
yep.
ONAs or whatever those are.
Or the TV series even.
Yeah.
Like that. That's what.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We forgot to mention that they technically own Kite as well, which was kind of another high profile.
Yeah, they mentioned that Kite.
Which again, I can't remember who originally had that. Someone else. Didn't they have it when it was edited considerably? Someone else.
Yeah, I know someone had that. Don't remember who it was.
Well, you guys, I'm gonna go do a little bit of detective work. Carry on for a sec.
But no, I'd been speculating for a while that they're gonna get back into anime at some point. It's like they're already the biggest manga publisher, the biggest hentai manga publisher in the English language world. They got to expand at some point, and they got to get back into anime because they had a good deal with that Immoral Sisters thing.
Right.
And I've been waiting for a while for them to come back with something on that. So I'm very happy about this.
All right. All right. Not seeing the who originally put it out. It was put out originally cut. It says here the original release, at least in the United States, was 45 minutes. Basically, it cut out all the sex. And 60 with. So there's at least 15 minutes of it. That let's see, what's it say here?
But wasn't there like
it's been released 3 times, it says.
Yeah, there was like an uncut one.
Right.
There?
Oh, and it's banned in Norway, by the way.
Lovely.
It's considered child porn. Interesting. Yeah, 2 versions were initially released. An original version, which was rated 16 up, director's cut, adults only version, which was 18. And let's see. It was re-released on DVD, Kite remastered, blah, blah, blah. General release, Kite on Netflix, has a few scenes omitted. Wow, this sounds like it would be a pain in the ass to follow the changes and weird shit. There's a live action film, which I don't think anybody here has seen.
No, there was a sequel to Kite.
Oh, get this. The Weinstein Company acquired it.
Ah.
The worldwide rights for it. Are you fucking serious? Holy shit, that's funny. Okay. And apparently Quentin Tarantino was a fan of it.
Oh yeah,
that somehow is not surprising to me.
He said he showed Kite to the one that did Go Go.
Oh, and Kill Bill?
Yeah.
Okay.
As like, this is kind of like what I want your character to be.
Oh, all right. Again, I mean, I'm not one of those people who
I think that was
around directors quite like that. So
yeah. No, I was gonna say the Moe Manifesto book, but I think that was before that. I think it was the one about the Japanese schoolgirls that I used to have that mentioned that.
Oh, that book about how Japanese schoolgirls changed the world or some shit.
It was one of that. It was one of those.
One of those, yeah. Because there was a short period of time where anime literature, for lack of a better term, was sort of a thing.
Well, no, this one came out fairly like a little bit before that, but not a little bit before the Moe Manifesto, but I think after that hype period.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but you know what I'm talking about, right? There was a period where like a bunch of these books came out about anime. Yeah, fucking Morning Rise wrote, I'd put that on the box if I released it. Banned in Norway. Yeah. You can't get this in Sarpsborg.
Oh, I think
some more details on the particulars of this deal coming from the press release are just linked in the IRC.
Okay, yeah, there's a PDF here.
Oh, by the way,
physical distribution of titles will continue to be maintained by Media Blasters, the most recent release being Vampire Vixen. Media Blasters will coordinate and extend licensing opportunities for new content to Faku. Faku will handle digital distribution, while Media Blasters handles physical distribution. Here comes the good part. Faku plans to make Kid Media titles available to users through their existing online subscription service at no additional cost. Additionally, Faku will offer DRM-free digital purchases for each title. We believe consumers are willing and wanting to support the industry. They just haven't been given the opportunity through existing distribution channels, added Mr. Grady. That's something we're going to start developing for the future.
Right. So one of many if you scroll down, you can kind of see the old cover art for some of this stuff.
Yep.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that one. Spaceship Agaruder. Any Tenchi Muyo fans knows the significance of this, I think.
But yeah, so they're going to be extending their existing business model to hentai anime. Which
right. You're
seeing
this
two paradigms that we've never seen before. You've seen legal streaming, I assume, of hentai anime, and we're seeing DRM-free digital purchases of hentai anime.
And so, I have to wonder if this...
See how well this DRM-free thing works. I assume it's going to work very well because Faku's already built their business off of DRM-free. And
I don't know
we're going to see how
true.
I wonder how the rest of the market's going to react to this when they see how well DRM-free is doing.
A bit of a kind of a tie into that. I don't know if this is true or not because where I read this from wasn't necessarily the most reputable of sources, but I can believe it that Bashful Break did so well that they were actually able to acquire this in terms of excess money.
I think I heard the same thing, and that wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know if that's true or not, so don't take that as gospel or anything, but it's one of those things I can believe.
Right.
But apparently they did so well on that, and that's one of their relatively more recent books. So, and apparently it sold well enough for them to be able to actually venture out and kind of do that. I don't know the accuracy of that, but I certainly could. Yeah, 4chan will probably be angry. They've been pissed off ever since they went legit anyway.
Yeah.
And to be fair, people give them way too much crap for that because, look, this is one of those things where you have two options: what they did or die. Literally, they either do what they did or you don't exist anymore.
Well, that's number one. Number two is just this perspective I have no respect for. It's like, oh, someone's making money off of media?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, crucify them. So someone out there is trying to make money off of media. Someone out there is trying to make money off of the licensing and distribution of media. Oh, Jesus Christ. What a travesty.
Let's just say there was this really offensive, admittedly kind of funny, caricature drawing of Jacob that involves some money and things like that.
Yeah, that's just some shit I have no respect for.
No, it's ridiculous.
Trying to make money off of media. Oh,
how horrible. We say we're capitalists, but
stronger on the RC. I think A is just angry because they did the C&D thing, which, as I understand it, and again, don't quote me, I don't know for sure, but I believe that was at the behest of the people they licensed the stuff from.
They just don't understand advanced capitalism. Boy, we haven't heard that in a while. Did we ever actually? I think we did, but did we ever explain that?
We did. Yeah. We can do a quick reset on that though. So
just because it ties in, it's pretty funny.
Yes.
There's this idiot.
Years ago after after
toy form.
There was this form that VZ hangs out on, and there was this idiot there.
Yeah.
And I do use the word idiot because there's no other word I can think of.
No, what he said was pretty egregious. He's basically listing off all of the stuff he thinks
caused the Sandy Hook shooting,
the Sandy Hook massacre, and within that was advanced capitalism.
And that's
such a non sequitur to us that it's now become a running joke on NTR Radio.
Yes, because it's really absurd. I mean, no, they didn't explain it either, by the way. No, it's just one of those things that you were supposed to get. It's like, I assume you all know critical theory. You know what this means.
It was something like he was going on about like, and then we got into like this thing, and then advanced capitalism, and
so it's basically some dipshit that probably swallowed the wad of some bullshit sociology professor.
Yeah, he also hated Moe.
Well, yeah, but that has no relevance to that being stupid.
No, but it helps you to paint the picture of the character that I'm describing.
Well, wasn't this the same jackass who said we can play football?
Yes.
We don't have to be nerds.
Yes.
We can play football. We can talk about girls.
Yes.
We play football. We get laid.
Yes. Also called me said I was a tragedy.
A tragedy.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like you wouldn't know tragedy if Shakespeare raped you in the ass, dude.
I don't know what.
Come on, man. Seriously.
That place is not like updated in a year. Like
no,
nobody goes there.
I assume you can see.
I bet not.
I assume you can see the dust bowls.
From what I heard, they'll move to like Facebook or whatnot.
Naturally.
It's like goody. I don't care.
So that means half the stuff they say will be censored at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they were censoring already.
Oh, I know. Yeah, but they were censoring other people.
Yeah, it was them censoring other people. Now they're going to be
that's okay.
By the establishment, man.
Does anybody really still talk like that?
I've never encountered a single person who's talked like that.
I mean, it's one of those things where you see like hippie commune things in movies say shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, have you actually ever seen anybody really say that? Or heard, rather? Not seen. No. Okay, anyway going back back to the
last bit of news before we roll on the micro topics. Our good friend the anime misogynist is no more.
Oh yeah, that they have decided that they're done hating women, and
yep, we once we heard the report, we sent a quick reaction team to their compound to find it empty and deserted. Documarkers littering the floor. It was a tragic scene.
Yeah, I mean, there were numerous empty things of candy. I don't know if we can say the names of the brands. Let's just say there was a predominant thing of empty wrappers for fruit chews of assorted flavors.
Empty Ramune bottles everywhere scattered about.
Yeah, so apparently they have moved on to greater pastures. Maybe they're just gonna generally dick with comic fans now. I don't know.
Well, no, they explained it in the blog post that I posted up in the IRC. So it turns out, and we fucking knew this, by the way. It turns out that it was Karen from the Otaku Sphere.
Yeah,
the entire time.
Grand reveal. We knew this. Yeah, we've had her on here, and amusingly enough, the story behind that was she actually told me about this. She said that that because we were talking about weird things SJWs say when they're ranting and raving about problematic elements in anime.
Yep.
And one of the things we were laughing about, or I told her about, was that one of the things they love to say when they say this really absurd bullshit is, we're just trying to start a discussion. which is basically their catch-all, like, my argument isn't working thing.
Right.
And lo and behold, that was the tagline for the site, and I just started fucking laughing pretty hard about that, because I'd forgotten we even had that little bit of a conversation. And just amused me, because how many times do you see some dipshit actually say, just trying to start a discussion, when their angle for whatever they're barking about totally fails? It's like, well, exactly. It doesn't matter if I'm making a point or not. It just matters that I've got the idea in your head. You know, kind of shit like that. And everybody else is just looking on like, what the fuck are they talking about? But
yeah, the blog post is well worth reading, because
it's very
actually goes really in depth into what exactly is wrong with the way in which feminist criticism is done in anime right now.
Yeah, and if you need examples, they're all around you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, any major publication that also does video games, just pick one.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, really, you know, you name them: Vox, Polygon, Destructoid. Are some of these even still around? Giant Bomb. Jezebel isn't fucking.
Jezebel only talks about gaming when they want to bitch about it.
Yeah, they're not a gaming rag, though.
Which, to be fair, that really doesn't make any. It really doesn't make them any different from any of other of these gaming.
No, but they at least pretend they're doing it.
Yeah.
Jezebel, just look at the name. I mean, come on. I mean, they basically are just like, hey, do you like bitching? kind of rag. But no, these again, I'm not even sure how many of these are still around. Some of them started going away. I know some of them had some problems, and some of which are actually pretty severe. Lest you don't know about NeoGAF.
Huh.
Which, by the way, lives on in an even more fanatical forum called Reset Era.
Yep.
Which, by the way, people have already been banned from it just for slightly agreeing with them differently in language they don't like.
Yep.
It's like, if NeoGAF wasn't crazy enough for you, that sort of thing. I mean, I don't remember how many of these. Some of them definitely died off. I mean, like, is Giant Bomb still going? Or
I think Giant Bomb is still
Rock,
around.
Paper, Shotgun, and some of those.
I know Destructoid was having some problems.
Right. And some of these problems, again, some of them are financial. Some of them are actually more serious. Like, certain individuals have been engaging in, well, the things they claim other people do.
Unsavory behavior.
And which clearly is just them, you know, trying to deflect from the mirror. I don't know. Anyway.
In any case, we're moving on to our first non-news topic.
Woot.
This Drawing Girl actually brought my attention to this article. And
we should probably mention where it's from.
Yes, fanboy.com. February 16th, 2011. What was it like to be an 80s anime fan in NYC?
Yep.
Interesting.
And it's a collection of photographs from the Cartoon Fantasy Organization, which is,
I've heard of that.
One of the very first widespread anime clubs. I actually wrote about the CFO back in. Originally, it was in Yanda magazine. To Iyashike, that article, and as well as on Medium, which I actually got quite a few views on Medium. So the CFO is critical to the development of the anime fandom in the West.
Right. It's certainly on that side of the country. It definitely was your big one.
Yeah.
I mean, because for example, excuse me, like Akon is generally considered to be one of your oldest ones, for example, and that's from when was that? Like 87. It's been around a while. I know that.
I believe it, if I'm not mistaken, it's the longest continuous running anime convention right now.
Right. And I've been there before. It was pretty enjoyable, even though they fucking had it in a hotel with a giant fucking fire hazard. No, seriously, there was one side of the room that did not have stairs.
Ooh.
Like, if a fire broke out and you were trapped on that side, you'd be fucked. Great design, by the way.
I spot Gundam Mark II right there.
Yeah, and looking at these pictures is just very interesting. Ignoring some of the dress and hairdos and stuff.
Yeah, it's the 80s. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, they're really no worse than any other.
Actually, I recognize pretty much any of these robots.
This one guy looks like Bob Ross.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Tell me if you guys are getting the same vibe. Look at the second picture.
Yeah.
Doesn't the robust man up by the CRT monitor?
Robust.
Doesn't he look like he could be one of those hellfire preachers that are bitching about Pokemon and fucking Harry Potter?
One of those like hardcore televangelists.
Yeah, that's talking about like burning books and shit.
Devil cartoons from the Orient.
Yeah.
Devil cartoons from the Orient.
See, he's actually,
they must be purged. They must be purged by fire.
Right, he's right now in front of the anime club.
Yeah, he's like, Lucifer's beard, what are you watching? Okay.
Yeah, so this is back in the day when there basically was no way to get anime. There were no subtitles. They traded tapes back and forth from Japan to get their anime unsubtitled. They went to the Japanese bookstore to buy Japanese manga in Japanese.
Yeah, seeing a lot of great art books. Oh my god, that's a holy shit. That's a that's later the Fantastic Adventures of Yoko.
When I draw your attention to something though,
art book. That's great.
In the third image,
yeah.
Look at the guy's dead center. Look at the outfit the guy's wearing.
Yeah,
interesting. Doesn't he look almost like a trucker or something?
Yeah.
No, he's got kind of like a flannelly shirt and like the ball cap and lumberjack beard and shit.
Yeah.
Isn't that like the otaku uniform? Plaid shirt, tucked in,
it
jeans.
is. It is.
But you know what I mean though? You don't
backpack with posters sticking out of it.
Hell, the dude to his right looks like he belongs in fucking like a motorcycle club.
Looks like he belongs on the highways of the danger zone.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, holy shit, it's Fonzie, you know? No.
Let's
again, we're poking fun. These people are, I'm sure, they're fine people.
These are the people who. So I'm sure they're fine people.
Yeah, put it this way: they built the bricks upon which we live in.
Exactly.
Nearly everyone except for one person I see is all men.
Yep.
And they're
I also spot Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Also, no one here except for maybe one or two looks under 30.
Yeah, most of these people do look very much like just adults across the
mostly board. Like adult, late 20s, into 30s, white men.
Yeah, pretty much. And quite frankly, if you removed all the anime stuff, you would think that they were at any other kind of gathering, like church or wherever.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you really couldn't tell.
It's like I said in that article, you running an anime club is basically the same thing as running any other club. As a matter of fact, it's probably actually a bit harder.
Oh, well, check this out. I just actually kind of reading this. The meetings during the 80s took place in the basement of the Polish Democratic Club, which was located in St. Mark's Place. Interesting.
Does it say what borough?
Not gonna.
No, it just says New York City.
Yeah,
this is it.
That's a good question. Actually, they'd probably look up St. Mark's Place and that'll tell you. But back when I was I used to run a gunpla building club. I called it the Plastic Models Builders Club. We were all building gunpla, let's be real. And I used to run it. One of the places I ran it was in the basement of the library down the street. So
okay, I found it. It's Manhattan, 8th Street, St. Mark's, Manhattan. All right.
Again, this is interesting. I mean, both being the history buff, because it's like an observation into a totally different world almost. Because just the zeitgeist, is so much different in terms of. I mean, you can just see it.
Oh wow! If you go east from where this is, you see the East Village.
Yeah. Is that where the village people hang out?
Well,
that was a terrible.
Yeah. If you ever heard of Greenwich Village, I'll explain another time.
Morning Rise in the IRC points out that the robust gentleman we were talking about, that's the guy who invented the AMV.
Wow. So some people are cursing.
Much respect to the robust gentleman.
You could put music
without him
to anime, and that was probably back when you had. And
that was when people were creative about it and didn't just throw a fucking Linkin Park song in there.
Yeah, and
it's
also,
I like this and this. Boom.
And also, it was infinitely harder to do that because they didn't have computers.
Yeah, it's splicing the footage and everything else. But interestingly enough, there's a line here that I think people should point out. This is technically even before my time. So, conclusion: it took a damn bit of hard work to be a fan back in the day.
Yeah.
Also, you fought for every damn scrap of anime you get your hands on.
Another thing, if you notice, like most of the stuff that they're looking at, again, partly because one, it was the time, and two, and again, the demographic of that time, a lot of sci-fi stuff.
Yep.
Right. Although you can see plenty of Urusei Yatsura as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Urusei Yatsura was one of those things that people
kind of were into at the time.
Yeah.
Certainly. And yeah, again, this is important because I think people have forgotten that it used to actually be like that. Because now, I mean, let's be honest, if you want something in this department, it's not very hard to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, through legal means or not. Here you actually had to work a bit for it.
Yep.
Yeah. See, I was kind of like in the tail end of that era, especially someone like me who was interested in like Sentai and Tokusatsu in the 90s, had to ask, request, hey, do you have this Sentai in these set of episodes? And that's what I used to get. And now, well, one, you could obviously torrent it, but two, you could now they sell the Sentai shows legally with subtitles too. So there you go. It takes it from yeah. Now it's all legal to get that shit now. Who would have thought?
Legal, easy, abundant.
Yeah, I mean, but again, like I said, a lot of people are coming into this stuff with no appreciation for that because they don't have to deal with any of that.
Exactly.
And again, it's I'm not saying that to sound like some gloating old person or anything like that. Yeah, I'm not even trying to get at that. My point is though, it's explaining why they don't have that appreciation for it.
Yeah,
tape splicing. Yeah, I mean, it's like before they had things like Pro Tools. You know what I mean? Like with music and whatnot. Where you actually had to literally take tape and slice it with something. Good time.
I'm sure back then, because there wasn't no proper romanization and you had to translate something, I'm sure the names were totally fucked in the subtitles.
In some cases, for sure.
Again, Shar spelled like S-H-A in the original print of the novels.
Yeah, so there you go. But this little piece of history is pretty interesting to look at.
Yeah, I actually kind of like seeing some stuff like that, mostly because of like
there's a couple of really great, even though I'm not on there anymore, there's a couple of really great Twitter accounts that kind of do stuff like this, that post things like this.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them,
and those are cool. I think
what I really like is there's a. I don't even remember where I found this. It was an old flyer for an old anime convention.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can
dig it out.
Dig this out of yeah, exactly.
Dig it out of my ones and zeros here.
Okay. Anime Con 91. August 30th to September 2nd, 1991 at the Red Lion Hotel, San Jose, California. Confirmed guests of honor. Joji Manabe, Leiji Matsumoto,
holy shit,
Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, Kenichi Sonoda, Haruhiko Mikimoto, Toshio Oka. Like we can't get these people now.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, I've heard that like even Osamu Tezuka when he was alive used to come to like U.S. conventions.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, well, some people missed out on that for sure. But the point is, these sort of things.
Wow, these room rates are insane. Again, 62 a night for a single. Listen,
dude, I can't even pay for gas with that.
Yeah, people out there who would suck dick to get 62 a night for a single room.
Seriously, there are people who will do this. That's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah, this guest list was like, how can we get any of these people here today? Because how much do I need to pay? Who do I need to pay off to get Yoshiyuki Sadamoto?
We shall entice them with American cuisine. Come over here, and we shall give you some Captain D's. I mean, like, you know, how's that gonna work? It's like, hey, you want to come over to the United States? We have an IHOP.
I actually remember, you know, when I told you like I saw Tomino, and because I told you the stories about that.
I'm not gonna lie, a little bit jealous of that for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like. You know, sign any autographs. I just, you know, saw the panel with him.
Yeah.
But what was I remember saying like they had like a special like dinner event with him, like at like a prime rib dinner.
Oh.
And I'm like,
listen, I don't care how much money I need to pay. Listen, I get to have steak with Tomino. That's the story you tell your kids. They're not going to understand a word you're saying, but you tell your kids that story just to tell your kids that story. So I had steak with Yoshiyuki Tomino. Who?
Yeah, I mean,
he made a cartoon that was done before I was born.
But yeah, exactly. Interestingly enough, I just found someone had posted a GIF from the original Gundam of Char with the bazooka. You know what scene I'm talking about?
Yes.
I'm not gonna say it, but in case somebody out there hasn't seen it, but
I should one day watch. Like again, I've only seen the movies, but I should one day just fully watch the original series to fully appreciate the memes. Nah.
All right, so going from the 80s to just on the cusp of today, we have this article I'm looking the IRC from manga.tokyo. Interview with recovery of an MMO junkie producer Satoshi Taira. And what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down to the last question on the first page.
Oh, I've seen that, GIF. I've seen that.
And the question the interviewer poses is, Crunchyroll joined the production team for this anime, so it was guaranteed to be streamed worldwide prior to its production. Does this change the production process at all? And the response, Crunchyroll sponsored Nanbaka and streamed Real Life in North America. Regarding this anime, they were involved in it from the meetings on the script. We felt responsible for making the anime series meet a favorable reception in the North America. We usually don't need to think about scenes which have something to do with, say, religion in Japan, though we racked our brains on how to deal with them. The manga had the English subtitle, Recommendation of the Internet Enhancement.
You gotta love that.
However, Crunchyroll advised us to change the title to a name that can tell the story straight away to English speakers. Advice and changed the English title to Recovery of an MMO Junkie. The subtitle of the Japanese anime was also changed to Recommendation of the Wonderful Virtual Life. We might have gone with Netoju no Susume, the original title, Maji, for the title abroad if Crunchyroll hadn't been involved in it. We changed the title because we wanted to allow audiences overseas to understand what the anime is about. So the reason I picked this article was because it kind of shows just how involved we're getting with this whole paradigm of Western companies starting to sit on these production committees. And number one, I never want to hear anyone else ever say again that the West is just a secondary market and they don't really care about us. That hasn't been the case for years. And number two, I kind of want to get you guys' perspective on what this sort of means. That like Crunchyroll now has the power to say, hey, we think you should change the title of this to suit a Western audience.
That has really, really bad implications because of not just to make things more Western friendly, but we know what type of people work at Crunchyroll. Let's be honest.
Well, here's my thing.
And
you asked him for his opinion. He's trying to give it to you. So.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's not even. No, you go ahead, VZ. Finish because I'm about to launch into something.
Is there anything like again? I never watched the show, so I don't know. But it could have really it could go bad real fast of like things that are even more objectionable, like fan service and I don't know, things that might be considered offensive to Western. Yeah,
and to kind of climb on that, look at the way they're handling video games again. I say again because it hasn't been this censor happy since the fucking 90s. So one does have to wonder how much of that's going to rub off through the same kind of channels. Now, there is one difference, though, and that's a lot of anime fans, if they learn of this, are going to be pissed when things are changed like that. At least most of the ones I know get kind of irritated when people do stuff like that. So, I mean, there's certainly going to be people nipping at their heels the entire time. So
yeah, that's my thing with it. It's like this could go. It really could go one of two ways. It could go in a way where, it's not even. It could go one of two ways. It really depends, because the thing about it is, it's not even about who Crunchyroll, like who works, what kind of people work at Crunchyroll, because realistically, outside of people who are real out in like social media and stuff, we don't really know the kind of people who work at Crunchyroll. But what I'm saying is, it would depend on what perception the anime community projects about itself. Like, you'll see, like, what happens when, and again, this is something I've been on for a while, for years, in fact. What happens when you see all the ecchi fans and they're not encouraged to enjoy what they enjoy openly, so they're all secretive about it, so nobody actually knows they're out there. So what it really looks like is Western fans actually want something different than Japanese fans want, which really isn't so much. It's not the case as far as people would like to portray it and have been portraying it.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, but what happens when you don't see any of those fans, so you get the perception that, oh, the West wants something different, and so people, the Crunchyroll et al. Start telling people making this anime, hey, the West wants something different, and so they make something different, and we continue to get the same cycle where people say, oh, why don't they make anime for the West anymore? And then they make anime for the West.
Yeah, like Space Dandy.
Exactly. And nobody's talking about it a season later because nobody actually really wants that show except for the 8 people screaming for it.
Just from what I know about how Japanese businesses work and whatnot, I know they're very shrewd businessmen. So what they're going to do is they're going to, at least what I think they would do, is they would see that people aren't buying this and the merch and stuff like that, like they did with these other shows. And either what would happen is after a couple of stinkers, one of two things would happen. One, they just keep doing it anyway because the money they're being pumped into is good, which obviously that's a bad scenario all around.
It's exactly what we're talking about with Funko.
But two, they just retract and go to their old model, kind of like Madhouse does whenever they try a Marvel crossover that bombs.
Well, considering a huge influx of capital from Netflix.
See, that's what I'm saying. Why they might continue doing it anyway, because they like the money. The money being pumped into it. I mean, I know in the 80s during the bubble economy, that's why we got a lot of this like really outlandish shit.
Yeah.
Because they had that excess money.
Yeah. It's like, I got this idea. Okay, here's the money. Do what?
Yeah. It's like, okay, we got abundance of venture capital here. Do it basically.
It's like, will that business model work again? Can we go to that well twice? And number 2, anime takes a really long time to make its money back. More often than not.
I mean,
so it's like if you create Space Dandy, and then no one's talking about it. The moment it stops airing, everyone stops talking about it. Everyone forgets about it, and then it just truth be told, I don't know how well Space Dandy did. I just use it as an example because everybody I know who was talking about it stopped talking about it the moment it stopped airing.
I got a better example because that at least ran on TV, and it had its Wizard Barristers. Remember that?
Yep.
I remember Wizard Barristers
because that was designed to be a Western, very kind of like Kite without the hentai.
Right. Well. And that brings up another good point.
And it just like apparently nobody cared for it when it came out.
Real quick, the reason I use Space Dandy is because everyone was talking about Space Dandy
because it was going to be Cowboy Bebop 2.0.
Space Dandy, and realistically, the reason they were on board with Space Dandy is because it was a anime, and everyone goes crazy because he made Cowboy Bebop, but. Right. The reason I don't use Wizard Barristers as the example is, who do you know who was really pumped about Wizard Barristers?
Yeah, I mean he's got a point, and another thing about this that's interesting to me is not only the fact that it just disappeared as soon as it finished, but also it doesn't have that background. It can't rely on merch like other shows can.
Yeah, that's another thing.
It can't fall back on people buying figures and Daki and things like that.
Yeah, the most popular.
But also it can't. besides the fact that it can't do that, shit, I lost my train of thought. Crap. There was a point I was going to make that kind of tied into that, and I kind of lost it.
Oops.
Yeah. But I think you know what I mean. The merch thing obviously isn't there because, okay, and again, this might sound weird, but if you think about it, you'll know what I mean. Space Dandy didn't have much in the way of meme power.
It didn't have longevity.
Well, but you know what I mean? Like, even shows that people say they hate, like K-On! Or whatever, anything like that, I still see pictures of it every day.
It's because K-On! Has longevity.
But
Space Dandy didn't have anything. It didn't have any elements to.
But if these
people's consciousness.
But if these people are right, you know, and I'm not saying they are, but if these people are right, shouldn't shows that they like, say like Space Dandy, have that effect on them, to where they're posting about it all the time and they're like making fan art and all this other shit?
I think the thing with Space Dandy was more about the hype of the show than the actual liking of the show.
Which brings me to another point, and again, I've been seeing this a lot over the last 5-6 years or however long. Anticipation that completely dries up as soon as the show finishes. Like it just completely disappears. It happened with Kids on the Slope too, which was another one that this is exactly.
Yeah.
Like, people got really hyped about it, and some people even talked about it while they were involved with it. But then all of a sudden, boom, the show finishes and it's nowhere to be found anymore.
And that's definitely an like, as far as merchandise, an unmarketable. So what's it about? It's like jazz in the 60s.
Well, I mean, it's not saying you can't have a music-based show that's more. I mean, obviously, there's plenty of them now.
Idol stuff, yeah. That's not what I mean. But like a jazz-based show,
like a period piece.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean,
you really can't.
I mean, there's other shows that have a heavy music component, even. And for example, I mean, say Cowboy Bebop, for example. That. But I know what you mean. That I mean, how many people are actually talking about merch and, like, what's the right word here? Excess stuff that aren't part of the show proper, but still usually help bolster sales with things.
Incendiary? I think that's the word.
No, that's not the word I'm looking for. But
I know what you mean.
Kind of auxiliary goods in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, a lot of people like the music from some of these shows, but how many people actually buy the soundtracks and things like that?
That's one, yeah.
Well, it's like and you'll notice that Cowboy Bebop seems to be the only show these people are real big up on that seem to have any sort of longevity.
Right, and even then, like the merch for it. I don't want to say it's scarce, but it's sparse.
Yeah, there is Cowboy Bebop merchandise, but it's very scarce.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it. Well, put it this way: a Tamaki Kosaka figure from Two Heart 2 came out.
Oh no, Anubis froze.
We lost him. No. What would a show be if we weren't having some technical issues?
But that's a lot of stuff where there's still stuff coming out from stuff years ago. That's because it's that popular.
But another thing is, these people, from what I can tell, don't really like buying merch in this way. I mean, I don't know a lot of people that buy art books for these types of shows and stuff, even.
No, but that's because a lot of these people just do not have the dedication, or also their
interest is very surface level.
They're also very, like, what's that word? Again, they're the I like to show my true power level. It's like,
well, that's just stupid. I mean, like,
what are you?
What are you afraid? What are you afraid somebody's gonna see that you have an art book? Or, I mean, come on. It's like, make them leave your house. I mean, whoa, what's your deal?
Well, who's going to judge you for having an art book of like a Cowboy Bebop?
That's kind of the other point. Like, it's not like it's Bishojo Sluts 4 or something. I mean, I mean, granted, if anybody has that wants to share, you know where to find me. But
it's hard as again, like you like buying Satoshi Urashara art books, and you have no qualms about getting.
No, it's right on my bookshelf, right next to my Nietzsche books.
Awesome.
That's actually not a joke, by the way. No. Actually, no, that isn't actually true. I organized them a lot differently than that, but they are there. But the point is, I mean, you don't see the merchandising power of a lot of these shows, or they could be, but I don't think people are buying it. I mean,
I don't think people would buy it. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
It takes a special kind of person to spend $150 on an anime figure.
Yeah, and let's be honest, most people, even of shows that like Cowboy Bebop or something like that, still don't do that.
Exactly.
Even if they like the show.
Well, I notice a lot of these people have no qualms spending that money on a game. You know,
which is interesting because
buy the AAA game for my console.
Well, to be fair, that's $60.
Yeah, most of those are capped considerably.
Yeah, but then you got true, but then you got all I hear about modern console games is we gotta pay the microtransactions and and DLC, and online content.
Well, here's the thing: there's no way of knowing whether or not the people we're talking about are the same people actually out here buying DLC. So.
To be fair, that's not really true. That's kind of a false equivalency.
Which I hear about. Which I hear is like crippling the latest Star Wars Battlefront game.
Yeah, they fucked that up, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
we're not going to get into that.
But what I'm saying is, what happens when we start doing this and we start making all this anime that people over here categorically don't support for very long.
Well, it's a dead end.
Well, yeah, the anime industry over in Japan gets hurt, Crunchyroll gets hurt, and everyone is worse off as a result.
And then eventually they're just gonna do kind of what Bandai did and pack up and go home.
Or they're likely, because it's Crunchyroll going over there, so they'll likely just send Crunchyroll packing.
Well, yeah.
Everyone gets hurt as a result.
Yeah, but I think you understand what I mean. My point is, at the end of the day, America goes home.
Yeah, and make no mistake, I want Crunchyroll to be successful in this endeavor because it stands a very real chance of getting us closer to this industry. What I'm saying is, let's do this correctly and not do this in a way that only serves like half of the demographic.
Yeah.
Also, don't do anything to piss off the Japanese production because having way too many demands to suit the product, can really like. I've seen that too many times where things get changed just for.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a given.
Well, let's be fair. There are certain groups of people out there who have made it a life's mission to fuck with everything they can get their hands on. I mean, they just some sort of inverted version of the Midas touch. Like everything I touch turns to feces kind of thing.
the Midas crap touch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat this delicious.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I think you get my point. There's a certain group of people out there who've actually openly stated this, mind you, that their job is to create transformative works, which that's of course pure fucking bullshit. Basically, the term is basically a smoke screen for we're going to change the things you like into things that more fit what we're up to.
Right.
Don't be fooled. That's one of those buzzword kind of weasel terms or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
But what I'm saying is simpler
whenever you
than
see
that.
transformative, that's almost always a bullshit sign.
Yeah. What I'm saying is simpler than that. I'm just saying Crunchyroll and other companies that do this just don't lie to the Japanese production committees about what the Western anime market is like. And when I say don't lie, what I also mean is do your due diligence on the particulars of this demographic in this market, because that's your job. It's your job to know, and it's your job to know not just the vocal parts of the market, but the more underlying parts of the market that don't necessarily speak up a whole lot. And let's be real, Crunchyroll has the data. They know what people watch. So I'm not even that afraid that they're gonna start doing radical changes and try to dictate this and that in the script and whatnot. I'm not even that afraid they're gonna do that, because if they start doing that, we know it's something rotten in there, because they have the data. They know what people are watching.
Well, right. And more than anything else, I would say I think what people are worried about, and I understand this, is that they're going to be very, what the fuck's the word? There's a certain term here, and I can't think of what it is offhand, but basically they're afraid they're going to pull like the Yuri on Ice thing, where they're manipulating things.
Well, to be fair, that's I don't even think that's a concern anymore. I think that's a given. They're gonna promote what they want to promote.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm talking about
I don't have the data on this, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were on the production committee for Yuri on Ice, because remember, they were promoting Komodo Friends a whole lot, and they were on the production committee for that as well.
Right, but I think you know what I mean now.
That's the Anime Awards thing, right?
Yeah, stuff like that.
To be fair, that's really the least of their problems, is insofar as the Anime Awards thing goes.
I'm just saying the mentality of ignoring what data actually says and how it works for the purposes of
data. The data plays out for Yuri on Ice.
No.
It's an incredibly popular show, both here and over in Japan. What I'm just not happy about is them going into the Anime Awards while also making Yuri on Ice. That's what I'm not happy about. But the data pans out for Yuri on Ice. It's incredibly popular. Now, are people still talking about Yuri on Ice at scale? I don't see it. To be fair, it's a year later, but to also fair, I didn't see it 3 months after it stopped airing. So we'll see if that panned out the way it panned out for other shows like K-On! And other shows like other properties like Two Heart 2. But what I'm saying is that's less of a concern than it is just a reality. They're going to market what they think should be marketed, and that's their prerogative. All I'm saying is don't lie to people. And especially don't lie to people at a production committee level, because then you're just making everything bad for everybody.
Okay. Is that going to wrap it up, or do we have any more topics?
I had one more topic, and this is kind of
I was going to talk about something, but I'll leave it for another show then.
Okay. So this is kind of a speculative sort of thing.
All right.
That was the wrong hotkey.
I was going to talk about drawing anime.
Okay.
Well, but I think that'll be good for another time.
Yeah.
Another micro topics one.
Okay, so I just linked the Some Anything series data quick view in the IRC.
All right.
And what I want everyone to do is sort it by average sales descending. So you're basically going to click twice on that average sales header. And I want us to do a quick experiment. Say the top.
Wait, where's the average sales? What do I click?
It's the third one.
Okay, click
from
that.
The title.
Yeah. Now what
you
is
click
it?
that and you click it again to get the top selling one.
Hang on, this page is kind of slowing me down here for some reason. That's weird. Okay. All right. Click.
Okay, I see. Yeah, the top. Yeah.
Okay, Bakemonogatari is at top there.
Yes. Okay. So let's take the top 20 anime. So that's Bakemonogatari on second season. And I want to see if we can figure out what common trait among them. If we can figure out some common traits among them that might determine why they're so successful.
Okay, let me copy this so I can get a better visual here.
Wow, Grand Blue Fantasy was that popular this year?
yeah.
Oh shit. Fuck.
Okay, I got him. All right.
So, from second season of K-On! All the way up to Bakemonogatari.
Yep.
Let's see if we can suss out some similarities among these shows to figure out why they're so popular. Because and the reason I want to do this is because no one else has ever fucking did this.
Okay.
And it's frustrating to see people talk about other elements that really don't pan out in sales, and this sort of ties in with what we were talking about just a few minutes ago.
All right. Okay. I can tell you one thing right off the bat. Most of them are original and novels.
Yep.
Very few of them are actually from manga or games.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I never actually noticed that.
I mean, as far as source material goes. You'll also notice that, Sunrise does pretty well, so does Shaft.
Yeah.
And KyoAni.
And KyoAni, yep. Let's see here. Looks like the majority of them... Oh, no, never mind. But interestingly enough, all these are after the year 2000. After the digital switch of the way animation is done now.
Right. Like the top 20 have nothing from before.
Not even early. The earliest thing looks like to be 2002 and 4, which is Gundam Seed and Destiny. Interesting. And I know those sold really well. As far as those go. But but other than that, those are like the only two that are like early 2000s on that amongst those. I mean, if you look, all the other ones are kind of on the other half of the 2000s.
It seems to be 2006 onward.
Largely.
Parody.
Yeah, and Code Geass and whatnot. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Now of these 20 though, how many of these are still like mimetic? K-On! Of course.
K-On!
The Monogatari stuff to an extent.
Definitely Love Live.
Obviously. The Fate stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Code Geass.
Yep.
Exactly.
But look at the stuff that's not though. How many?
Haruhi to an extent.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But look, like Macross Frontier. When's the last time you saw any of those?
Which saddens me because I like Macross Frontier, but yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
I'm not knocking on. And of course, Monica is also again.
Well, there's Attack on Titan. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
That's getting another one. That's getting a third.
But you'll notice a lot of these have kind of a mimetic quality, and numerous titles are actually from the same franchises, or and things like that. So
which makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I think what would actually be even more interesting is to go down another 10 or 20, and which ones are probably largely not of that.
So if we can go down another 10. So from K-On!
Yeah, so let's go from
K-On! Down to Infinite Stratos.
Yeah. Now let's look at these ones. Okay.
How far? Oh, okay. Infinite Stratos.
Now, interestingly enough, most of these are from fall. It looks like.
That's probably a coincidence, but
that might actually not be a coincidence. You could probably suss out some pretty interesting data from which series come out during which season. But you see a pretty even distribution among these 30, maybe with winter being lesser.
Interestingly enough, the same pattern though. In terms of dates, in terms of the dates, it's the same pattern.
Here's another.
No, check this out. Look, 2003 is like the only early 2000 title.
Yep, that's Full Metal Alchemist.
And then, but again, check it again. You see the Fate. You see your kind of Sword Art Online.
Girls in Panzer.
Yeah, the Gundam stuff.
Angel Beats, Infinite Stratos.
Right. Interesting, because if on a smaller scale, this is following almost the same pattern as the ones above it, though.
I was gonna say nearly all these things have things that,
except for the source material, though, you'll see the difference there. A lot of these are from visual novels.
I was gonna say, all of these have merchandisable things.
That too.
Like even Omatsu-san has both Nendoroids and Figma.
Yeah.
But as for what these 10, those 20, and they all have in common, yes, most of these are giant merchandise things. Which again, that's not a surprise. Obviously, the big merchandise stuff is going to be big sellers.
And here's where we get into why do you think that is?
I think people like having auxiliary items from shows they really enjoy.
Well, why these shows in particular? What makes these shows in particular really strong merchandisers?
Endearing characters.
Now, the Gundam stuff is self-explanatory.
Gundam stuff is that's
That's
self-explanatory.
Gundam.
And even if you can take if you take the mobile suits and consider them characters, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
All have characters that affect you and characters that you get on board with.
But the cans of characters and cans are all voyeuristic, and why do they act like?
That's not even the criticism they say. They don't say the characters are voyeuristic. They say the shows are voyeuristic.
It's voyeuristic.
Okay, but why do they act retarded?
Walls.
Why do Molly girls act retarded?
But you see that? Don't you see that pattern though? Like even among stuff like Attack on Titan and Full Metal Alchemist, a lot of it's the characters, especially something like Osamatsu-san or Yuri on Ice.
Right.
It's all characters.
And stuff like Love Live or Idol Master, you of course got the music element too. Which again, that's kind of your outside merchandise kind of stuff. Again, not knocking any of that, just an observation.
Yeah, it's an observation, but like Infinite Stratos.
From a business perspective, this stuff is valuable info though.
Certainly. And
because if you can exploit that,
if you can create characters that people get on board with and stick in their heads, you can be part of the 30,000 club up here with Infinite Stratos.
I could just see your teeth grinding like
as much as it pains me to say that, but you could and here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing. I really don't like Infinite Stratos on a story standpoint, but I still have a $200 something Figma of Cecilia Alcott. So yeah, maybe if you create memorable characters, even people who hate your anime, well, I can't even say I hate Infinite Stratos. Even people who are not on board with your anime will still will still continue pumping money into it.
I want to do the opposite. Let's look at things that. What's a way to look at like the things that just.
Interestingly enough, I was actually going to see what sold this last week.
Oh, see, I want to see things that sell very low.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's. I'll zoom out and then refresh, or not refresh, but re-go there and.
So, what you do is you scroll back up and re-click the average sales button, and that'll bring you to a bunch of zeros. So let's actually scroll down and get to where we actually have some numbers.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Fuck tons of zeros. Let's get some numbers. Here we go. Because then it jumps to 70, it looks like here.
Yep.
Okay. Now what are these? All right. Shows that nobody's talking about.
Oh, that was lousy. $1 million. Saw an episode of that. Yeah.
Bakuman, 3rd series, Shin Strange Plus.
Oh, this show I actually liked. Oji-san the Marshmallow, but that was
the first show that I think all of us actually remember to some level, Nurse Witch Komugi-chan.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Did not care much for it, but I remember it.
Well, this is the 2016 one.
Oh yeah,
that came out way back in the day.
Okay, didn't see that one. Okay.
Oh look, there's Stella.
Yep. 200. As much as it pains me to say, in the 0,000 club.
Looking around here, yeah, you got stuff like Centaur no Yami.
But here's the thing, and this is what's difficult about doing this in reverse. It's not. There are a whole lot of ways the show can fail.
Yeah,
there are a finite number of ways that you can make a show do really well. So I think it would be very valuable to investigate why Stella is in the 0,000 club, because that was a great anime. And to be fair,
from the manga.
I don't even know.
It went on like a darker.
It was still a great show though, but here's the thing. You don't see people still talking about Stella. It doesn't have that kind of stick in your head mimetic quality that those top 30 shows we talked about did.
Interestingly enough, you can actually go to a different spot in the same page that's 1999 and before. TV anime sales over 10,000. Which, of course, is like your Sailor Moon and all that.
Right, exactly.
Interesting stuff, and Gundam and Lupin the Third and so forth. Pretty interesting stuff. You can, let's see.
Let me see that, because I want to find out from before.
Oh, yeah, go to table of contents.
Aha.
There's a couple other interesting things here too. You can
look
look
table
at
of contents, 1995 and earlier, average sales.
Yeah, and it's in alphabetical order. I guess if you do the same thing, you can click it twice.
Let's see if this is a consistent theory. So let's take the top 20. So
they got
from Evangelion all the way down to.
So okay, let's get the 20 we can get from here. All right, and hang on, I fucked that up.
So from Evangelion all the way down to 2 Heart.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, I'm trying to find out how to.
Just hit average sales twice, just like you did last time.
All right, I got it. There we go.
Yeah, Evangelion is number 1, unsurprisingly.
Evangelion number 1, Nadesco number 2, baby.
Which I honestly did, although the disconnect between the two is kind of funny. Look at that. And just a year later at that. I'm surprised Dragon Ball GT did as well as it did, because most fans I know actually don't like it.
Hang on, GT.
I mean, like most even fans of the franchise aren't big fans of it, to my knowledge. Maybe it was more popular there than here.
You notice a lot of these are still talked about. Years later.
Yeah.
Lupin
the Third,
Gundam, original Gundam, Sailor Moon, Detective Conan.
There's Cowboy Bebop.
Patlabor, Saber Marionette J, Zeta Gundam, Card Captor Sakura, DBZ, and the original Gundam Wing.
Yep.
The Secret of Blue Water, Nadia, I believe.
Yep.
Double Zeta. I mean, wow, Rivius? Really?
I was surprised about that too.
Wow, that's weird. And then again, check the next 10 just for shits and giggles.
So from Too Hard down to
Brain Powered.
Brain Powered? Are you fucking serious? I think that one was just purely riding the coattails of the other successes there.
So from Too Hard down to
Lupin the Third.
Lupin the Third,
second season. Yeah.
And also, correction, K guys, that's not Detective Conan. That's Future Boy Conan.
Oh, my bad. Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. I just saw Conan. My bad.
I know just enough Japanese to understand that title.
In all honesty, I just saw Conan and assumed I should have because I saw Future. Yeah, Future Boy. Yeah, my bad.
Right.
Anyway,
Tenchi Muyo.
Yep. Brain Powered. R, Sailor Moon R.
You're Under Arrest specials. Yes.
I
need to keep watching that. That show's amazing.
Okay, but there is another pattern though, if you'll note. Most of these shows are all interconnected franchises, Gundams, Sailor Moon, Lupin the Third. So that's one connection we're seeing that's the same. Is that long-running series, whether they're directly connected or not, tend to make up part of it.
Right, and this is more of a 90s paradigm where we get these very long-running anime series.
Right, but if you look at the current ones, that's true too, like Fate and
a lot of these franchise series
or the Monogatari stuff. Yeah, so it actually does carry over. It's just a different series. That's the one in the slot. Interesting. Sunrise is pretty well represented as well. I mean, they always are, unsurprisingly. Although in this case, you're seeing more from like Toei. They're pretty big here.
Yeah, I want to look through this old VHS and Laserdisc rankings. I really want to know something like. Some of those OVAs that I told you.
Like, how much did Mad Bull sell? I'm curious. I actually would almost be curious.
Okay, this is hard to read because it's all in Japanese.
Oh, okay. Well, there's and again, this is a pretty cool website for those out there. You'll be given the link.
Yeah, it's nice if you're a data nerd.
Yeah.
If you're a data nerd, if you're a business nerd, and you like sussing out individual little pockets of information to try and recognize patterns.
Morning Rise says, what makes me sad is Gundam X did okay in sales, yet still got canceled. Yeah. We finally got it, though, eventually. That's nice.
Yeah, eventually.
I own it.
Okay, and this isn't one of my planned micro topics, but I actually watched a video last night about the ongoing dispute between Harmony Gold and whoever happens to own the BattleTech franchise at whatever point in time.
Did it make you hate Harmony Gold even more?
Dude, Piranha Games might have Harmony Gold on the ropes because they're issuing a thing to the judge going through this case, saying basically Harmony Gold pretty much litigated themselves into a corner, and they don't actually have the authority to be out here suing people about especially about the licenses to the mecha designs that were originally used in BattleTech.
Is there? So basically, what I want to ask is, what is there like? Is someone else pretty much nailing him with like some kind of injunction? Like to where they can't in law terms, basically somewhat of a restraining order from them being able to meddle and shit.
Well, basically, they're more or less asking that the case be dismissed on the grounds that Harmony Gold doesn't actually have the right to sue people over usage of these old designs from the 80s that have long since been blessed by Tatsunoko and Big West for use in BattleTech.
I wonder how like many people actually work for Harmony Gold.
Interesting.
21 people and 19 of them are lawyers.
Really? Nah.
No, not really. I don't know, but
he's making fun of the fact that they've tried to keep
fun of the fact that their business model is suing people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
making a Robotech movie that it looks like might not even pan out because
it's not gonna pan out.
I don't know what they're gonna do if they're no longer able to sue people over this 2-decade-long bullcrap.
It really is, and if you're a Macross fan, you've been enemies with Harmony Gold for a long time.
This is squared for me because I'm a Macross fan and I'm a BattleTech fan. So
so you're doubly not into these people.
Twice by Harmony Gold.
Yeah, so
it's like wow.
Like, how could one company piss me off that much?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I think we'll end it here.
Yes, indeed.
So
that
I don't think
the show.
No mail this time.
No mail.
Okay. No more confused Russians thinking we're different.
No more confused Russians. Ajnus trying to school us on Tekken.
Sorry. Much love and everything, but I don't think anybody here actually likes Tekken amongst us.
I don't actually hate Tekken. Like that's a joke. I hope everyone knows that I don't actually hate people who play Tekken.
Oh no.
It's a joke.
It's a joke. I personally don't like Tekken, but
it's been a very long running joke among me and the people I play video games with in college.
Yeah. Plus, I know exactly what you mean because I remember the very first time I played it. It was one of those games where I could just mash buttons and win. They're not joking when you say that. No, they're not. It's how I won. And the thing is, I'm not terrible at fighting games either. I mean, I'm not great, but I mean,
it's like I can hold my own. Like I can hold my own against the people who were the best people at Dead or Alive in college back in the day when we were in the video game club. It was like me and 2 other dudes, and we would all take turns beating each other in Dead or Alive. So I'm okay at 3D fighting games, which means like when I play Tekken, I just get disappointed. And also I just think the whole character thing is ridiculous, but I don't actually I play it up because it's funny to me and it's funny to everyone around me, but I really don't have any perspective on Tekken. I just don't think it's a very good game.
Right.
No, I know you didn't. I know.
In any case, yes, that's the show.
Yeah. I know that. Yeah, you can hate the game, but you don't hate the people that like it.
No, I mean it's like I don't like Doki Doki Panic, also known as Super Mario Brothers 2 USA, but I'm not gonna fucking want to flay them if they do. I just don't like it. Anyway, probably should. I think we lost him again. Well, that's interesting. We can't actually close the show until he comes back since he's hosting the call.
Yeah. I was going to do the other micro topic on drawing anime, but I'll say that for another day.
Alrighty. Well, all right. So we're going to have to wait for him to come back. I don't know how that happened. He's been having some technical issues. I don't know if weather's bad where he's at or his connection's just going.
Yeah, we should have closed the show right before.
Yeah, so unfortunately, you're gonna have to extend this out a little bit with some bullshit. The political enemies keep attacking. Yeah, probably. I don't know. Perhaps. I don't know. Maybe they did hit us with a DDoS hit or something. I don't know. They're big fans of Tekken. Yeah, no kidding. Eddie Gordo fanboys are trying to disrupt the stream. Anyway, while we're waiting for him to come back, I was always partial to Soul Calibur as far as those kind of games go. I mean, before that, obviously, I played Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat just like everybody else did. Wasn't terribly great at them, but not bad. There were some other fighting games too, some of which were more entertaining for their premises than their actually gameplay, like Time Killers or Primal. What's it called? Primal Rage. It was the Mortal Kombat-esque.
Yes, with dinosaurs.
Yeah, like the one big ape thing like pisses on you when he wins.
Yeah,
it just
I remember that one.
Oh, there you are.
All right, yeah. I think we should go.
Yeah, we should probably do this before something worse happens.
Yeah. Okay. So I already did the entire closing monologue before I realized that I got disconnected. So that's recorded. All we need to do is the outro.
All right then.
Does anyone have an idea? Because I don't.
I do not.
Oh no. Let me get this.
Oh no. Well, he's got something. Oh no.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And even though we go $320 million in debt every time we say it, this is NTR Radio.